There's no time.
The time is
13
o'clock.
Hey y'all,
We're
Tuesday
back.
once again.
Yeah.
Here we are with episode 195. Only 5 weeks until episode 200, which
Yeah.
we still don't know what we're going to do yet. Well, we've kind of decided.
It's going to be a pretty big show. I can't believe we haven't covered this one yet. And I also really can't believe that people are interested in this one because this case is everywhere. You know, I grew up with this case.
Well, the weird thing about this is that, somebody requested it a few weeks ago. And I was like, holy shit, yeah, I don't think we've done that one yet. And then I found out that HBO was doing a docuseries about it, which is streaming right now. And it seems like it's kind of everywhere at the moment.
Atlanta child murders.
Yeah. It's this is a really... And it was on Mindhunter season 2, obviously, last year, which I saw. I haven't seen... I will say, full disclosure up front, that I haven't seen the HBO series yet. I did see season 2 of Mindhunter. I saw the 2010 CNN, to the 2-hour thing that they did on the Atlanta child murders with Soledad O'Brien, where she interviewed Wayne Williams and stuff. And I even watched, there was a 1985 fictionalized TV movie. It was 3 parts. It was long. It was each part was an hour and a half or something. So it was 3, it was fucking 6 hours. I don't even remember how long it was. And it had some big fucking stars, fucking Morgan Freeman was in the shit, James Earl Jones was in the shit, Martin Sheen, the dude from Andrew Robinson, I think his name is, the dad from Hellraiser, he was in it. It's everybody was in it. It was fairly accurate, but I think some of the lawyers complained that some of the shit wasn't accurate, so they had to put a disclaimer at the beginning saying, yeah, this is based on a true story, but some of it's fictionalized, blah, blah, blah. But it was pretty, in-depth and shit, so I watched that whole thing. I can't believe I watched that whole thing. And it wasn't bad, but, there were some things in there that I'm not sure were, true or not. But, yeah, so and also there was an American Justice show about it and stuff, so I watched all that as well. And I've read all the shit about it. So, this case, I think it fascinates people because... Well, gosh, a lot of reasons. Probably because, one, it's a shit ton of victims. Somewhere between 28 and 30 usually are canonical. Most of them were children, under 15. There was not a lot of investigation for a long time because it took the police a long time to link all the crimes, which is dumb because they were clearly very similar. And unusual for the time period, even though it was a high crime area, but these were particularly unusual crimes. So it was strange that it took them a long time to link them. And then the fact that there still, to this day, remains some controversy over whether the dude that is, thought to have committed some or all of them, Wayne Bertram Williams, who is still in prison, whether he actually committed some of the crimes, all of the crimes, most of the crimes, none of the crimes. You'll get people arguing all of those possibilities. So I think that's why it's still kind of really interesting to people. Plus the whole cultural context of what was going on in the late 70s and early 80s when these crimes were happening.
There was there was a racial element to this,
Big time. Big time.
And it was black kids being murdered, and there was a lot of people from the black community that really thought this must be white people doing it.
Particularly the Klan. And there was some evidence to suggest that because the FBI did actually investigate a family that were Klan affiliated and had them under surveillance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
but there was nothing there. I don't believe.
Well, we will get into that a little bit later on.
You did. The thing is though is that it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit.
I'm gonna say
it's a little early on in the show to give my opinion. I guess I'll leave it to then. But there's just a certain kind of things that have to happen in a serial murder. There's certain profiles that the murderer has to fulfill. And Wayne Williams filled the bill, and when he was arrested, they stopped. So, I definitely
do think, I'm going to say right from the outset, I do think that he committed some or most of the murders. Because, famously, he was only convicted for 2, and the 2 people that he was convicted for killing were adults. They were not children. But they were, considered to be of the same series. However, there were 1 or 2 crimes in the series that I think might have been someone else.
Yeah, that's possible, because they may not have been part of serial murder. Might have been that some kids were killed. Were they ever found? Were all the bodies found?
I believe they were. Now, it took a long time for them to find some of the bodies, but I believe all of them.
Okay.
I believe all of them were found. But there was one murder in particular that I'm thinking of, which was a girl. And so most of the victims were males, were boys. There was a handful of them that were in their 20s. Now, the way that the girl was killed, in particular, or the way she was left, the body was left, seemed to me like a particular signature that did not fit. And also, I think there was another murder that was very similar to hers that was not included in the canonical list for whatever reason. I think because the victim at that time was considered too old. I'll get into that in a little while too. So I think maybe that was a different serial killer that was killing those girls.
Yeah, kids were being killed. Didn't necessarily mean didn't mean it was all the same person. But we'll get into the story. Wayne Roberts was gay.
Williams, yeah.
Yeah, Williams, right?
Yeah.
Wayne Williams, yeah. Wayne Williams was gay.
There's not a lot of evidence.
He wouldn't have been killing girls. And serial killers kill what they're attracted to.
Usually, yeah.
And that's... Would he kill a girl to get her out of the way to get to a boy? That's possible. But the character of the guy... And I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself.
You are.
I am. The character of the guy was... I don't think he was that ruthless. I just don't. I don't think he would kill a girl to get to a boy. I just don't think he would.
I kind of do feel like it's very... I'm not saying it's impossible. We talk about this a lot.
It's just unlikely.
I think it's unlikely,
unlikely.
For a serial killer...
He had his way...
Yeah, they usually target a particular type of
And he
victim.
had his way to get his hands on boys. And he used that way. And I don't think he was very heavy-handed. I think he used seduction and money and promises for money for... mainly. I think that's how he did it.
Well, yeah. Well, he had kind of...
he had clout, actually.
Well, he thought he did. He had kind of like an up... he had kind of like a business, and he had he said he was a music promoter and stuff, which he was, but in a very
that's
small
all you
way.
need to get your hands on boys.
He did have a way of procuring them, I guess is a way you could say it. So even though... like I said, there is some controversy over whether Wayne Williams committed all of these crimes. I do think he committed, I think he committed the ones that he was convicted for, which was just 2, like I said. I do think he committed the majority of the particular crimes that are usually on the list, but there are a couple on there that I think were maybe somebody else.
I don't think the Klan had anything to do with it, because the Klan has a certain signature, and this ain't it.
Yeah, and no one's defending the Klan, because they did some horrible shit around this time too, but it's just kind of it's
the wrong area,
and
it's the wrong signature, and you know what I mean. It's not hangings, and it's the wrong target. They're going to go for somebody who's older, and there's going to be fire involved in ritual, and there's going to be hangings involved, and it's going to be in a secluded area. It's not going to be in an urban area.
Yeah, so like I said, the FBI did investigate them, and I'll get into that a little bit later on, but you know what I mean? So just from the outset, like I said, I definitely do think that Wayne Williams committed, if not all of the 28 to 30 canonical murders, at least the majority of them, as much as he still continues to say that he's innocent. I've seen numerous interviews with him, and I'm not really buying it, I have to say. So we'll kind of I want to get into his psychology and stuff like that, because I kind of found him a fascinating person. Not in a hey, what a cool guy kind of way, but what a messed up dude. Kind of, it's a really weird, kind of psychological thing going on. So before we get into it, as usual, we got a whole bunch of shout outs this week. Some of the people we've already shouted out, on our sidetrack shows, but like I said, I know a lot of people don't watch those. Just a random viewer wouldn't watch that. So I do like to save all the shout outs and put them all on the main show, even if I've already done them. So again, I would like to shout out, and please forgive me, you didn't correct me on Instagram that I pronounced your name wrong when I shouted you on the sidetrack show. So I presume I pronounced it right. But it's Nile, I guess, Nile. who sent us a very generous PayPal, actually 2 very generous PayPal donations.
Yeah.
He was the one that sent us one and then said for good measure and then sent us the amount again.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Also, our patron, Mary Ellen, has doubled her Patreon support, so thank you very much, Mary Ellen. You rock.
Yeah.
Also, I wanted to thank Sophie again for sending us the movie Psychomania, the Arrow video Blu-ray, which has all the extras on it. We'll be doing a movie retrospective on that.
And a bunch of toys.
Yeah, she sent us a bunch of toys too. Did we
were-
do that? Did we shout that out last week?
Yeah,
I think we might have.
I think we did, yeah.
Like the Duran Duran
and
things
Iron
everything.
Maiden and
And
Bill
Iron
Adam,
Maiden,
yeah.
like the vinyl pops and
Yeah,
stuff
got 'em
like
right
that.
back there.
Yeah, but she had sent us. Yeah, she sent us another movie again. Now this just happened today, but I had
Oh, I forgot.
what
I got a letter from somebody.
you got
From
a letter.
the show. Yeah, it's for both of us, but I didn't open it.
Oh, you haven't opened it yet.
Let me go get it. And there it is.
All right, through editing magic, we
Yeah.
have we have received the letter. I'm just gonna
Yeah, I got there and I
I'm just
didn't
gonna
open it.
I'm just gonna slap a picture of that.
Didn't
So we're
know.
actually gonna open this on the show. This is a first.
Yeah.
I've always thought about doing like an unboxing show. Like,
Yeah.
should we read it? It's embarrassing.
Ooh.
Oh my
Ooh.
goodness! Oh my goodness!
Oh my, oh man.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
indeed.
you. Thank you.
Yes,
thank
indeed.
you. Oh
Thank you
my
very much.
God, that is
Thank
so
you.
awesome.
What's it
Should
say?
we read it?
Read it out.
Tom and Jenny, I've been following your show for a bit now and must say it's amongst my favorite podcasts. Absolutely love the organized chaos. That's a good word for what we do.
Yeah.
Maybe that we should change the name to that, actually. Also, greatly appreciate the sidetracks during this COVID weirdness. They've been giving me something to look forward to each day whilst getting ready for work. So thanks. Your essentials sway. Also particularly enjoy Tom's military stories. My pops was in Korea around roughly the same time.
Okay,
USAF though, so not nearly as cool.
Yes.
More please.
It's further down south.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you
That
very
is
much.
like so awesome.
She wants to hear more about Korea, huh?
He wants to hear more about Korea, yeah.
Oh, God,
So
man.
what we'll do that on the sidetrack show
Okay.
for the other show that we do.
All right, I'll show some pictures of Korea that I got
Yeah, okay.
and tell stories.
Just like send them because
I'll show 'em to the
you've
camera.
got a whole bunch.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of stuff.
Well, I can just like put them over. I can edit them over the shit.
Okay.
Like if people listen to the audio podcast won't be able to like see
All right.
them, but oh well. What
All
are
right, we
you
can
gonna
do that.
You guys miss out on a bunch of stuff if you just listen to the audio stuff because we do all kind of crazy shit. Okay, so one more shout out that I had to do. I just like heard about today. I got contacted by a fan of the show named Basil, who sent me a PayPal donation.
Oh, did you see that person's name?
Yeah, Sway.
Oh, Sway,
That's
okay.
what it was, yeah. And they, them and their wife Jocelyn, they sent a PayPal donation, and they wanted us to shout out Basil's mother-in-law, which I guess would be Jocelyn's mother, wanted us to say, "Get well, Nancy Swan," who is recovering from surgery at the moment. Apparently, they all listened to the show together,
Okay, yeah.
and
Get
she's
well,
and
Swan.
she's a big fan of ours.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's pretty rad.
Yeah. Remember on Mad TV, there's a little Korean character named Swan. Remember her?
Oh yeah, I remember you showing me
Miss Swan. She was funny.
Was she the one that like? What didn't you work in a like fucking? What kind of store was that? A candy store?
She was.
Or do I
it was
remember the
different
one
every
she was
time.
going in a
It
candy
was actually
store?
a white woman who's dressed up and could impersonate a Korean ajima perfectly. Perfect impersonation of a Korean woman, of a middle-aged Korean woman.
I used to work
You
with
can
a woman
see
named,
can him on YouTube.
Yeah, I remember you showing me.
I think it was Mad TV, right?
I think it was
Mad
yeah.
TV.
I used to work
Miss
with a woman
Swan.
whose last name was Swan, except with
Yeah.
2 N's, not 1 N. This is with 1 N, just like the bird. All right, so I think that's all the shout-outs, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, I can't believe we actually opened a letter on the show. Like I
Yeah,
said, it's the
and,
first time we ever did that.
In case anybody asks, I'm drinking Salsa Reposado Tequila with what's it? Red Bull Yellow Edition with a
Yeah,
splash
which is
of
like
lemon.
the tropical Red
Yeah,
Bull, right?
tropical
It comes in
Red
a yellow
Bull.
box.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with a splash of lemon. And,
Yeah, because somebody asked, a couple people have
yeah.
asked in the YouTube comments, it's like, hey, can you say, because I guess some people are not watching the shows in order. Like, I just, like, assume, because we're usually drinking
Yeah.
the same thing. Not always. But what do I have? You made it.
That's actually a screwdriver. It's called a Sunset. It's a screwdriver with
It's Sky vodka, I think.
yeah, Sky vodka,
orange juice. And
orange juice and
homemade grenadine.
homemade grenadine. I make my own grenadine because they're not selling it right now.
You want to hear something weird? If you guys have listened to the sidetrack show and we said we went to the we went to the Publix liquor store, no grenadine. We went to the regular Publix, also no grenadine. And then yesterday,
Yeah.
we went to Target, right? And the
Yeah.
the grocery store in Target, also no grenadine.
Yeah. No
They
grenadine.
had everything else. Like all the other mixers, all
Yeah.
the other stuff was there. No grenadine.
Yeah, and
all out.
To make grenadines very easy if you're out in your location. It's just pomegranate seeds cooked down in sugar with a little bit of water. You add a little bit of vanilla extract. You can use imitation, but I use the real thing normally. And what was the other little thing? Vanilla and a little bit of lemon, and that'll make grenadine.
Yeah, it tastes pretty much just like
Yeah.
the stuff in the bottle. Actually, a little bit better.
I didn't have enough pomegranate seeds though to really get the color right, so I fortified it with a little bit of whole cranberries that I had frozen in there. That worked too. Real close.
You know, pomegranates and cranberries.
Yeah, real close flavor.
But yeah, I found it very, very weird that it's like, you know, I think we mentioned on the show, it's like, why was grenadine out in 2 places? Now it's 3 places that we've been.
Yeah.
And that was all that was gone.
And it actually tastes better than store-bought grenadine, but it doesn't quite have the right color. It doesn't
do that cloudy,
doesn't do
like,
that but
gradient.
But the flavor's there.
Yeah, it tastes the same. It's like, you know, I don't know what the hell artificial shit they put in that thing to, like, make it all pretty and whatnot. All right, so I think we're done with all the shout-outs then. So let's get back to talking about the Atlanta child murders. Like I said, well, we did a fun show last week, like with the hauntings and everything. So we had to get back to the depressing shit sometime. So sorry about that. But I know you guys like true crime stuff. In a way, it's like, I know this is kind of messed up to say. I was just thinking about this today because I was thinking about the juxtaposition of like the fun paranormal topics with like the depressing true crime topics. But in a way, like, I think reading about true crime doesn't bum me out as much as it would, because sometimes it makes me feel better about, like, if I have a bad day or something like that, I'm like, well, at least I didn't get murdered. At least this shit didn't happen to me. You know, so in a way, it's kind of like weirdly life-affirming as well as, like, being really upsetting at the same time.
I try to make them fun.
Yeah.
By, you know, bagging on it.
They're still fun. It's like, it's just that, I don't know. It's a hard, like, line to walk between, because you don't want, like, people, like, victims' families and stuff like that, like, to get offended and shit, because it's like, I would never, like, make any fun of them, like, at their expense or anything.
I never make fun of the victims. I would make fun of the damn perpetrators.
You should make fun of the killers, because
they're pathetic.
Yeah, because that's some fucked up shit right there. Yeah. It's like, if you take them seriously and like make them out into like some kind of monstrous something, that kind of plays into what they want, I kind of feel like.
Yeah, they're pathetic fucking losers. All of them, really. All of them.
Yeah, well, if they weren't, they wouldn't be doing this kind of crap.
The only one that was kind of fucking half a damn man was the cop one that they caught, and then that motherfucker was pathetic too. What was his name? The other Night Stalker. What was his name?
Yeah.
The real Night Stalker. That's
the first one.
The first one.
Oh my god, I totally forgot his name.
What was that fucker's name? They just caught him.
Yeah.
They just caught him.
Well, they caught him like last year.
They caught him last year.
I just totally had a brain fart and I cannot remember his name.
And I called it. I figured he was cop.
Well, the weird thing about that, and this plays into this case as well.
Yeah.
Wayne Williams, it's like a lot of serial killers have cop fetishes.
Yeah.
I think it's because they want, like, they like the feeling of, like, power, control, stuff like that. BTK had it. Yeah. Like, a lot of them are, you know, try to be in law enforcement or study law enforcement techniques, or they can't hack it or something.
They got cop wannabes.
Yeah, and so Wayne Williams had that as well. And he later on would say, like, he trained with the CIA and all this other kind of crap.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean?
Kind of like with Frank Dux. Him and Frank Dux were fucking with the CIA.
Wayne Williams is an A number one bullshitter. And it's like, even before he got caught as a murderer, everybody that knew him pretty much said the same thing. Even people that liked him said that he was a bullshitter.
Yeah.
I mean, he would give people his fucking resume, like his job resume and stuff like that. And there was stuff in there that obviously was not true. You know what I mean? So he was a fantasist.
Right.
Let's put it that way. But yeah, so as we said, Atlanta child murders, you know, either called the Atlanta child murders, sometimes called the missing and murdered children, whatever. These were a series of murders, usually said to be between 20 and 30 murders that occurred between 1979 and 1981. All of the victims were black. Almost all of them were children. Almost all male. There was one girl in there. I think there's one girl or maybe two girls in there. But I kind of feel like maybe that was a different perp. I think that was a different serial killer. Because it does happen that several serial killers are operating in the same area at the same time, as horrifying as that sounds. We did a show a while back about fucking London, Ontario, in the fucking, from the 60s to the 80s, where they think there were at least 5 serial killers operating during that time period. And I was just writing about a few cases in various parts of Canada, like other parts of Canada, where they think there were several serial killers targeting prostitutes at around the same time. So it's not impossible. It's unlikely, but it's not impossible. I do think Williams was rightly convicted of, the crimes, and I do think that he committed most of them, but there's a couple that I think were probably not him. So let's go back to 1979, and we'll talk about we'll kind of go in order of the timeline of the murders. So, mid-1979, one of the first victims is Edward Hope Smith, also known as Teddy, and Alfred Evans, who was also known as Q. That was their nicknames. These were both 14-year-old boys. Now, they disappeared 4 days apart. However, they found both their bodies on the same day, like in the same wooded area, on July 28th of 1979. Now, Edward Smith had been killed with a gunshot wound, 22 caliber, in his upper back. As you'll see, some of the murders, most of them were strangulation or asphyxiation, which is what they say when they're like, well, we think they were strangled, but we're not really sure. Could also cover smothering. However, a few of the victims were shot. Maybe there was just one that was shot, but a couple were stabbed. So some have speculated that, not that Williams was innocent necessarily, but that maybe he wasn't working alone, which, again, that might be another possibility. So,
Well, you know what I'm going to say?
What's that?
The ones that were shot and stabbed, were they bigger kids than the ones that were suffocated?
No. Pretty much all the kids of the canonical list were, under 15 years old. They were usually pretty small, thin. Even the adults that were killed later in the series were small. They were usually real short, or they were mentally handicapped in some way, or they were very slim, or something else that made them quote unquote childlike, which is why they, associated them with the same series.
Because it makes you wonder if they were shot or stabbed because they were trying to get away or successfully getting away.
That's a possibility, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about it is that it's not unheard of for serial killers to alter their MOs. Particularly maybe in the early... I mean, if this was early in the series, maybe he was still figuring it out.
Either that or it's more than one person because it's separate crimes. And you're just putting them in the same...
These two, I don't know if it was separate crimes or not. Because the kids, most of these kids knew each other. They lived it was a very small area. Like they lived in the same neighborhoods. I think it was only like a 12-block radius or something like that. And... so it really does seem like the kids were lured into a car. Like I said, I'm not saying that Williams was innocent, but I'm also saying that there might have been another person involved. Like he might have had an accomplice that never got caught, or there might have been another killer operating at around the same time period. Whether they knew about each other or not, I don't really know. Some people have also speculated that there might have been like your standard pedophile ring. That kind of thing has been put forward as well. Whether Wayne Williams was part of it or not, they don't really know. But there are some stories later on that some of the kids that were later found, got into different cars than the ones that were seen. Like Wayne Williams had one particular. He actually had 2 cars because he lived with his parents and they had 2 cars, and sometimes he would use one or the other. But some of the kids were seen getting into other cars. However, some of those cars had 2 or 3 men in them. One of whom may have been Wayne Williams. And like I said, so it's possible he had accomplices as well. There's a lot of possibilities. But like I said, I don't think he's innocent, but I'm not saying that he was the only one either. There was maybe other people doing the same shit. So September 4th, the next victim was also a 14-year-old boy, Milton Harvey. Now he was actually going to the bank to cash a check or to deposit a check for his mom. He was riding a 10-speed bike. It was yellow. And the bike was found a week later, kind of in a remote area of Atlanta. However, his body was not found until November
Was
of
the
that
check
same
deposited?
year. Yeah, I think he was caught
on
the way back. Yeah. Actually, by the time they found his body, because it was a couple months later, he was so decomposed that they could not definitively say what the cause of death was. October 21st of 1979, Yussef Bell, who was 9 years old, he went to the store. He was going to buy some snuff for one of their neighbors, who's an older woman named Eula Birdsong. He often ran errands. It's a lot of kids would do that in the neighborhood back in the 70s. It's like you give him $1 or something like that and say, hey, go run and get me some cigarettes or something. So he went to do that. And like you said, these neighborhoods, the stores and shit like that, were just right there. I mean, he was just going across the street or down the block. It's not like he was going miles out of the way. You know what I mean? It was just kind of run across the street and get me some shit. And then he was supposed to come back. So Yussef goes to the grocery store. Now, a witness said that she saw him by the intersection of McDaniel and Fulton streets, getting into a blue car, and then he was never seen again. Now, his body was found November 8th in an abandoned elementary school. I guess there was a janitor in there who was cleaning the place, or, somebody, a caretaker or something was in there cleaning the place and found the body. I heard that it was a couple of the documentaries that I saw said that he was stuffed into a concrete crack, in the floor, he was left in there. He was still wearing the brown shorts that he had been wearing when he left. Now, he had walked to the store barefoot. They said that he didn't put any shoes on because he was just going down the street. He was still barefoot when he was found, but somebody had washed his feet, which I thought was very weird. Also, the shorts that he had found had masking tape on them for whatever reason. He had actually been bludgeoned to death. Well, he hadn't been bludgeoned to death, but he'd been hit in the head, and then he'd been strangled, and that was the cause of death. Now, because he had been strangled and some of the previous victims, Milton Harvey, he was decomposed, so they didn't know exactly what the cause of death was. The earlier victims, one of them had been strangled and one of them had been shot. So initially, police did not link all of these murders together, even though it should be said, as I mentioned earlier, that this part of Atlanta was kind of a high crime area at this time. There had actually been a couple of really high profile murders of there was one particular case that was a white doctor who was attending a conference in Atlanta, and he was shot by two black robbers in the course of a robbery, and it was made national news and shit like that. However, this type of child murder, just abducting children and then their bodies being found later strangled or whatever, was unusual. But initially police did not link all of the cases, you know what I mean, even though there had been 4 at this point. Now, March of 1980, this is the first female victim. Like I said, I'm not entirely sure. This is considered one of the series, but I'm not entirely sure that Wayne Williams did this one. This to me sounds like a different signature, but, I'm not an FBI profiler, so, take it with a grain of salt. I'm just saying it just sounds weird to me. So this was a 12-year-old girl named Angel Lanier. She had left her house at 4 p.m. on March 4th, 1980, and she was last seen at a friend's house. She had gone over to her friends to watch Sanford and Son, and she disappeared after leaving her friend's house. Her body was found 6 days later in a vacant lot. Now, she was wearing the same clothes she had left home in. However, a pair of white underwear that were not hers had been stuffed into her mouth, and her hands were bound behind her back with electrical cord. She had also been strangled. So again, this seemed like a little bit, because, see, some of the things I don't remember if this one was the one where she was tied to a tree, because some of them were tied to a tree, and to me that seems like a different signature. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it sounds like a different person.
And plus, like I said, the fact that it was a girl, it's weird because they wouldn't say if she'd been raped, but...
How old was she again?
12. I think she had been raped.
That almost sounds like something other kids did to her. Wouldn't surprise me if that might have been 15, 16, 14-year-old boys maybe did that to her.
Well, there was another one that happened 9 months later that was very similar to this one. So I kind of think that maybe there was another serial killer running around killing little girls.
Yeah, but it's also not unheard of little boys doing that to girls. I mean,
True.
Some serial killers have killed girls, you know what I mean, at really young ages.
Yeah.
13, 14 years old, and they killed girls.
Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't shock me.
All right.
I'm just saying I'm not sure if this...
I mean, there's a lot of kids in this area that just a few years later ended up in prisons doing life sentences in this area. These are rough neighborhoods.
Yeah, they are.
So wouldn't surprise me if that was actually some of her peers. Somebody that was around her age did that.
Yeah, possibly. I'm just saying, to me, that just seems like because the victim profile is a little bit different.
Yeah, I think it's a different killer.
I mean, yes, she was abducted. Yes, she was strangled. But as far as I can determine, none of the male victims, the boys or the men, were sexually assaulted. However, I believe that Angel Lanier might have been. Although they're very cagey about saying that, especially when it's like a 12-year-old girl. I don't know if it's because they are withholding evidence because, you know, they want to like keep things close to their vest so in case somebody confesses that they have like some information that, you know, only the killer would know. Or if they just don't like to publicize that, I'm not really sure. I do suspect that she was probably raped, though. You know.
And you're saying these boys weren't?
Not that I ever heard of. They were mostly just strangled. Which sounds, it's very, I don't know, it's just very weird.
Maybe he was making them give him head.
Sure, that's a possibility. That's what
I'm thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, it might have been something like that.
Yeah.
So, March 11th, which was the next one. This was a week after Angel Lanier disappeared. 11-year-old Jeffrey Martin was also running an errand for his mother and disappeared. Now, he wasn't found for almost a year. Now, someone came forward, a girl came forward and said that she saw him getting into a car. It was a blue car, she said, with a light-skinned black man and a dark-skinned black man. That's what she said. So the body was later found. It was 11 months after he had disappeared. He was found like out in some remote woods or something. And the body was too decomposed to determine what the cause of death was. May 18th of 1980, 14-year-old Eric Middlebrooks. He also disappeared. Now, this one was a little bit weird, and I'm not sure if this one was the same killer or not either, even though this was a young boy. He was living in a foster home. Now, apparently what happened was that he got a phone call, and it was kind of late at night. It was like 10:30 at night or something. He was known to kind of ride his bike around, and he had like a little toolkit that he would like take with him because his bike broke down a lot, and so he could fix it. So he gets a phone call at 10:30. Nobody knows who it was. And he said that he had to, like, go out and do something. And he hurried off on his bike and took his little wrench and stuff, his little tools with him so he could fix his bike in case he had to. And then the next day, they found his body lying next to his bike in, like, there was, like, a bar and then there was, like, a garage behind the bar. They found the body back there. Now, the bar where they found him was next door to the Georgia Department of Offender Rehabilitation. It's not anymore, but it was at the time. His pockets had been turned inside out. He had like stab wounds on his arms and his chest. And he had been like beaten to death, essentially. They had beaten him over the head. Now, this one I'm not sure was Wayne Williams because they pointed out that this boy, 3 weeks, I believe it was 3 weeks before he went missing, he had testified against 3 other boys in a robbery case. So this to me almost sounds like the fact that he got a phone call that late at night and was like, hey, you need to come here, that and the other, because he apparently ran out the house like his ass was on fire and got on his bike and went somewhere, and then he didn't come back. And
Yeah,
then
they used
found
a
his body the
ruse
next
on
day.
him.
So
used-
I kind of suspect, because Wayne Williams, his signature seemed to be that he would abduct a kid and then dump them like in a remote area. He wouldn't leave them like just in a building or something usually. You know what I mean? It was like an abandoned building, or it was like out in the woods or in the river later on.
Tried to make him disappear as much as he could.
Yeah. So this kid, I'm not certain, but to me this sounds, and the fact that he died from blunt force trauma to the head rather than strangling, to me sounds like maybe more revenge motivated killing.
Yeah, and Wayne had a car and he was intelligent. He would try to get the damn bodies out of there.
Yeah.
Which that's the same MO all the other serial killers like Bundy would try to do.
That's what I mean.
Try to get him away, as far away from him as he could. He was trying to make the shit disappear like it didn't happen. But when they're just dumping them locally in the area, that's usually like gang affiliation or fucking little two-bit shit. Fucking personal stuff.
Yeah. To me, that's what this one seems like. I'm not saying that's good. That it's like
no, it's just that it's somebody else.
That I don't think it's
else.
part of the series because the MO was different and the way that the where the body was left was different.
Because a lot of the guys doing that kind of shit, maybe they don't have a reliable car.
Yeah.
Maybe they were killed in that area, so they had to hide them close where they could drag them.
Yeah.
They were killed close in that area and hidden there. But Wayne had a car. He could put a body in the trunk.
Yeah, like something that I believe it was on the 2010 CNN documentary. Somebody said on that documentary, who was like a profiler or something like that, that kind of struck a chord, was like, the vast majority of murder victims are left where they're killed.
Yeah.
Because usually it's like, it's a fight or it's an argument, there's a reason.
Yeah.
Serial killers tend to take them somewhere and dump them.
There's just a plan, and they have a whole system support. They have a transportation system they can get a hold of. They have money because they got to buy gas, which means that they have a job and they have income. It's different. It's a different deal. Also, it's totally premeditated.
Yeah.
And it's to fill a sexual need that they have.
Yeah.
It's very different from, say, like a gang killing or a retributional killing or something that happens during a fight, That's something like on the spot.
Yeah.
And not real well thought out.
Where they're not really planning. They hadn't really killed,
they
planned
meet
to kill
the
that
dude to
person.
fucking throw down, and all of a sudden one thing happens, and then the dude's dead. They're like, oh shit, what are we going to do? They can't get rid of the body, so they just hide him right there. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Which is usually, that happens a lot with like domestic disputes and stuff like that too. It's like sometimes, they didn't necessarily mean to kill the person. It's just that shit escalated and then they were like, oh shit, now what do I do?
For a serial killer to register as a serial killer on the radar, he has to at least commit 3. And he has to do this to gratify a sexual motive, all right? Well, in order to get 3 under your belt, you already have to have a system. And in order to have a system, you have to have a fucking brain. You have to be able to think about it and plan it out, If you can't do that, then you'll never be a serial killer. You'll just be a spree killer. You'll get caught,
Yeah. Sorry, aspiring serial killers.
So
it's fucking terrible.
It's like a Darwin. It's this Darwinism, or fucking, it's natural selection.
I will say,
a lot of them get knocked out on their first homicide. They never become a serial killer because they get caught. Right.
Well, yeah. The very reason that I think that there's, maybe not so much anymore, but there used to be a common perception that serial killers were like some kind of like criminal geniuses or something.
No.
Which might have been from Silence of the Lambs, I guess. Yeah. Most of them are not. But you have to be a little bit above average intelligence to not get caught for long enough to become a serial killer. Because if you're a dumbass, you're going to get killed. And you're going to get like caught immediately.
And you have to have the means. In other words, you have to have transportation. And in order to have transportation, you have to have a job. In order to have a job, you have to have kind of like stable habits to where you'll report to work regularly. Now, not all of them were real good at that. Bundy, who was one of the, I guess you could say, one of the most prolific serial killers, was actually kind of unreliable when it came to work.
Yeah.
But he could put on a front, an air.
Yeah, he could maintain a face.
He could make a facade of being stable. But I think he was out of work a lot of times. But I guess, where was his money coming from? Do you remember?
Gosh, I don't really know.
Was it coming from the victims? Like doing like a vampire where you kill them and then you take their money and you live off that? I don't remember exactly where his money was.
I can't remember either. It's like, and it was,
he was working for the Republican Party for a while.
I know. Did he have
Weird.
did he have a wealthy family? I kind of feel like he maybe, or an upper middle class family maybe.
He did have jobs off and on, but from what I remember of the books that I read of him, he was getting fired a lot or just not showing up to work because you might have to kill a bitch. You might have to kill you. Fuck work, man. I gotta fuck this head. Because he'd have a damn head in the
fuck this work. I gotta fuck this head.
Fuck the head. Fuck this work. I gotta fuck this head. Because he'd have a damn head in the damn refrigerator in a bowl. Yes.
I just never tire of reminding people of that.
How can I fucking resist that? I can't go to work when I got that in there. That's weird dude, man. Fucking weird dude.
Can you imagine that thought process going through your head?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, there was one guy I was reading about. I'm going to
call in sick today because I just can't resist the lure.
There was one guy that I don't remember what his name was. Somebody in the audience will remember who it is. He had a girl's head in a damn gym bag, and he would just fucking totally rock up with the idea of him just walking around in public with this girl's head in the bag, and nobody knew.
The hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, and he was having sex with the head. And he was having sex with the head up in his apartment. And then he put the head in the bag, and he was going to go somewhere, and he's walking down the steps to where he lives in this little fucking boarding house and passes a fucking pretty girl in the hallway, and he's like, man, she doesn't even know I got this head in
I got a head in the bag.
And then he puts
and you don't even know.
And he puts that in the passenger seat, and he drives around with her and goes and does all kinds of shit. It's fucking, these dudes are weird, man. They're fucking weird.
Just goes to show how the human brain can go drastically awry.
Yeah.
Who would even think of this shit? Who would think of this shit? Yeah. I'm a horror writer and I don't think of this shit. I mean, sometimes I do, but not like I want to do it.
I don't think that was Bundy though. It might have been Bundy, but I don't think it was. Who had the head?
I mean, that sounds like some shit he would do, but I think that was
I think it was another one.
Yeah, I'm sure there's fucking.
I've read so many of them over the years. I read a lot of that shit when I was, back when I was in my late teens, early 20s. I was reading that kind of stuff, but then you kind of get tired of it after a while. You just move on.
Yeah.
But now we're doing it for a living.
Yeah.
Fucking weird.
Well, I find it endlessly fascinating. Yeah. I'm not sure why. But the thing about Wayne Williams, though, is that he had kind of, I don't know, he had a little bit of a different motivation than Bundy, but he had the same kind of superiority complex. I think he definitely thought that he was smarter than everyone else. He thought he was smarter than the cops. A lot of serial killers seem to have an inflated sense of their own intelligence, I've noticed. And Wayne Williams in particular.
And he had kind of a bitchiness to him. Every time
he did seem very bitchy.
Very bitchy, yeah.
Well, and
he was the queen.
Well, the thing about him too was that he had, like many other serial killers, was kind of a law enforcement groupie, and so he had studied law enforcement techniques, and I think that he thought that he was smarter than the cops, and that he would be able to beat lie detector tests and do this, that, and he just wasn't going to get caught. I do really feel like he thought that he was smarter than everybody.
Yeah, and
I get that sense from a lot of serial killers.
A lot of times with these serial killers is that they're smarter than a lot of people that surround them in their humble fucking environment.
Yeah, so it's easy to think you're smarter than everybody else in the world.
Everybody in the world. Yeah, but that's not the situation. It's just that you're living in a humble ass environment. Yeah. Once you're out of that environment, there are a lot of intelligent people that you're not fucking running into. Now, in the case of Bundy was very intelligent, and he got into fucking college, and he really couldn't hack it in college.
Yeah.
He could only pretend to be intellectual, but he deep down he knew he wasn't. And I think that kind of fucking made Bundy actually kind of lash out even more.
Because, a lot of them have massive insecurity complexes.
Because he realized that he wasn't really as good as these other people. Until when it came to intelligence.
As good as he thought he was.
Yeah, he wasn't as good as he wanted to be.
Because I feel like a lot of them, maybe, even if they don't grow up in really fucked up environments, because I don't think that Ted Bundy, for example, and Wayne Williams, his upbringing was not, he grew up in a very loving middle-class house. Both his parents were teachers. They were lovely people. And so I think what ends up happening is that it's very easy to be superior to, you know, you live in like kind of a small town, or you live in a place where there's not a lot of people with ambition, or there's not a lot of, so it's very easy to think of yourself as superior to them. But then when you get out in the wider world, you go to college, you go to like a big city, you go to something like that, and you kind of get slapped down.
Yeah, because all of a sudden you're common.
Yeah, all of a sudden you're not smarter. There's a lot of people around who are smarter than you, who are better than you at a lot of things. And I think that that really fucks with a lot of their heads, because the way they grow up, they kind of feel like they're better than everyone, and they find out that that is not the case. And I think that that really happened in Wayne Williams' situation. I think one of his main things was that he was actually kind of... I don't want to say a prodigy, because that might be overstating the issue, but I do think that he was very ambitious as a child. You know, when he was a teenager, he had his own radio station and all this other stuff. And I think that he really felt like he was going places, like as a music promoter, he was like trying to find the next Jackson 5, and he thought he was going to be famous. And then by the time that he got into his early 20s, he realized that he was just a bullshitter, and that that wasn't going to happen. And that maybe caused him to like fucking lash out, because he started to feel some resentment because he wasn't getting what he thought he deserved. I think that might have been part of his issue.
Sounds like it, maybe, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he definitely really did seem to have that, I'm better than everybody, and he was always like trying to inflate his own ego. He was trying to like blow himself up into something that he wasn't, and everybody could see through it. And I think that he thought that people were falling for it until he maybe got into his early 20s, when he began to realize that, oh, maybe I'm not going anywhere, and I thought I was better than everybody, and I'm not, and that made him like really, really angry.
One of the things that I've always noticed out of these guys, and it's like a thread that kind of connects them all, is they're all these guys that have something that when you look at them, it's like there's something missing in them. Every one of them is a fake or a fraud. Yeah. A good example is remember the dude that was killing the cats. And Don't Fuck with Cats. From Don't Fuck with Cats, that dude.
Yeah. Luke Magnotta,
I think is what his name was. If you watch videos of that dude, you can tell that's just an act. Yeah. That is not a real person.
Yeah, that's exactly how a lot of these serial killers come. It comes across as a facade.
A facade, and that's not a real person.
But I also get the sense that they think they're fooling people.
Yeah, but they're not. Right. People. It's almost kind of like you're looking at a sophisticated robot. Yeah. And that when you try to talk to that person, it's like you're talking to somebody who's pretending, and everything they do is pretend.
It's like an alien in a skin suit.
Yeah, and you're like, and most people can see this. So they're kind of repulsed. No, that's not a good way to say it. Most people can feel it. You don't really
you can sense it.
You can sense it.
There's something not right.
Something not right with this dude.
Even if you can't put your finger on exactly what it is.
So you're kind of repelled by it, and I think that they know that they're repulsive. Yeah. They don't want to accept it though, but people are like, ugh.
What's wrong with that person?
You know, it's just like total superficial fake ass zero. Yeah. And Williams kind of came off like that too. Like he was pretending. Really yeah. He was pretending to be famous. He's pretending to be real important. He's pretending to be a genius. But there's really not a lot to him. There's nothing really to him.
Yeah. And I think deep down, a lot of them know that there's nothing to them. And that's kind of what causes the disconnect between... Because, you know, it's like...
He lives in the hood, but he's acting like he's a millionaire.
Yeah, I mean, he actually did live in a better neighborhood. Than
it was actually middle class.
It was actually kind of
lower class, lower middle class neighborhood.
Because, like I said, his parents were, you know, they were both teachers. It was a kind of, you know,
but he's acting like he's living in Beverly fucking Hills.
Yeah, he really did seem to, and you know, a lot of you know, people that knew him, like I said, even people that were friends of his that liked him, said that he did kind of look down on, you know, poor people, but particularly poor black people, and kids, the way they were just kind of the way they would hang around the street corners, like trying to make money, like, hey, this one kid, like one of the victims who was like, who would go in front of the grocery store and try to sell like air fresheners for cars and stuff, like trying to make a couple coins, like to buy comic books or whatever the fuck kids buy. And you know what I mean? So it really did seem like he had this superior attitude. Yeah. And some people, I don't know if this is true or not because he has denied it, but some people have said that maybe one of the motives for the crimes was that he was kind of he was kind of like self-hating black person. Yeah. Like he hated the way like these little fucking, he just thought of them as like hood rats. Yeah. And he wanted to like eliminate them.
Yeah, but I think he was sexually attracted to them.
I think he was too. Yeah, I think there was definitely like an element of that. Sure.
Yeah, that's all his. He's just rationalizing. He's trying to rationalize why he's screwing him and killing him. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, they're just hood rats. I can do what I want with them. But really, the dude's fucking, he's a pedophile.
Yeah, and that it really does seem like that's kind of what he just like, well, I can do what I want to them because they're not human. It's almost kind of like he saw them as like subhuman.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's the same thing that you have these guys who go out and kill hookers and they go, well, they're just hookers. I got to kill them. Yeah. They spread disease.
Yeah.
Like dudes like that.
They're just hookers.
They're just hookers. They're not, they suck. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, I definitely feel
he's just trying to make himself feel better about why he's doing it.
Oh, yeah, big time. Yeah. Big time. So what year are we on? 1980. June 9th. Another kid, Christopher Richardson, who was 12 years old. He was actually walking to the recreation center. He was going to go swimming in the pool. So he was last seen walking towards the DeKalb County Midway Recreation Center, Midway Park. Now, they didn't find his body until the following January. So that was like 7 months later. Weirdly, he had been going to the pool like with a particular pair of like shorts on, like blue shorts, like his swimming shorts. When they found his body, there was a different pair of swimming trunks on him, apparently, that weren't his.
He's spending time with them.
Maybe. It could be, yeah.
He might be doing something that's almost kind of like a date, where he's picking them up and telling them he's going to make them famous and how talented they are. I kind of
feel like that's what he's doing.
They're hanging out. He's giving them alcohol. They're going swimming, and he's doing a whole little date with them. And then he has sex with them, and then he can't let them live after that. So
although he can't be taking them anywhere publicly necessarily because there were some witnesses that said they saw the kids getting into cars with somebody that looked like him, but I don't think there are any accounts of him being seen anywhere else with any of the victims except for one of the adult ones that happened later on.
And he's taking them home.
Yeah, he might be. Well, he lived with his parents though, so he might be taking them somewhere else. Or his parents were covering for him, but I don't want to say that because...
Probably not.
You know what I mean? Because his parents really seemed like lovely, and I think they both passed away
He had a place to take them.
He must have. I feel like he was taking them.
For all you know, he's doing photo shoots and stuff. He's like, this is going to be for your next album cover or some shit like that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, because they still have like flyers that he used to post around like all the area, like how he was recruiting for, like I said, he was trying to make a band, or so he said, that was supposed to be the next Jackson 5. It was going to be called Gemini.
Yeah, actually a good name.
Well, that was his birth sign.
That's actually a good name, though. You got to put like a number on it. Gemini 69.
I don't know. That sounds really generic to me. That sounds like you gotta think back.
You got to think back at the time, though. We're talking about fucking 1980.
True.
Might have worked.
That would have sounded cool back then.
Yeah, back then that would have worked. Yeah, and you had like some digital fucking shit on your album cover, make it look real high tech.
Lasers and whatnot.
Digital fucking like an electric clock. Remember the digital clocks?
Yeah, I remember those.
They first came out in 1980s. You know what I mean? They're like green, little fucking bluish green numbers. You have that on your album cover. Kind of like the Police album, like Ghost in the Machine album cover.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though. It's like a band, even in 1980. Well, I don't know, because I was only like 8 years old in 1980. But had I heard of a band called Gemini, I wouldn't necessarily think like, hey, Jackson 5. I would have thought like, I don't know. I would have thought like a disco band. I would have thought disco.
He's talking about a black Duran Duran.
With children.
Well, not children. 15, 16-year-olds, a boy band. Like Menudo.
No, the ones he was picking up are like 10 or 11 or 12 or
Oh, they're that young? Okay, I thought you said about more like 14.
Or 14. Yeah. Some of them were younger.
That's Menudo.
One of them was 9.
That's like that's how I think Menudo
Fucking Menudo.
Remember
Are they still
Menudo?
around?
No, I don't think so.
Well, they
Menudo had different characters.
That's what I mean. They could still be around because once they got like old enough, it was like Logan's Run. Like once you got to a certain age, you'd go to fucking.
They had to go to Carousel.
They'd go to Carousel.
They had to go to Carousel.
That's what happened to all the members of Menudo, y'all. It's like nobody.
They went to Carousel.
That's the conspiracy theory that nobody wants you to know about what happened to like the murders of the members of Menudo.
Jenny's fucking funny. Fucking Carousel. I want to see Logan's Run again now.
Yeah, we still get hits on that video. We did it so long.
We get big hits on fucking crazy shit.
Yeah.
Fucking Logan's Run. They love our Logan's Run video.
Well, yeah, that was like a great fucking movie.
And I had a good idea what the ending was.
Yeah.
That the egg cracked open to let them all out.
Yeah.
That they were, You guys have to see my Logan's Run analysis. It's
Logan's Run analysis. I don't even remember what we said on that shit. It was so long ago.
They need to remake Logan's Run just like that, but modernize it a little bit.
I don't know. I don't know if I like that idea.
Well, say what you will.
I mean, I'm sure they'll get around to it, but I don't know. It's not gonna be the same.
And I like the TV series.
I did as well.
Need to watch a TV series again. I got that shit on Blu-ray.
I know.
No, I got it on DVD.
We reviewed that as well.
Got the whole fucking
I liked it. I didn't like it as much as the movie. But
off topic. People are going fucking goddamn it. Why are you guys going off topic?
I don't know. I feel like most people like it.
They love it when we go off topic.
Well, and the thing too is that this video in particular, we started talking about the case like right away.
Yeah.
So by the time we got to this point, and we go off topic, people are already invested.
Yeah, we're probably like an hour into this fucking show anyway.
I think we might be. Yeah.
And
why do you want to take a break?
Well, I'm almost done with this drink. I'm to get some more.
Uh-oh.
But the thing is, I got to finish it because I don't have any more of that damn Red Bull.
Oh, okay.
So I got to clear it out.
You got to clear it out.
I got to clear it out, and then I got to make another one.
You got to reset.
Got to reset.
Okay. Well, let me talk a couple more minutes.
Okay.
I'll finish out 1980, and then I'll let you
go finish and
do the shit.
Because your drink's looking good.
It is, yeah. I still got like half of it.
Show's flying by.
Well, you made it really strong, so I'm drinking it really
slow.
He makes the drinks. I don't even watch what he's doing. He could be putting like all kind of poison in there.
That one's like a triple.
It is, yeah. Well, it's better now. It's like now it's kind of like watered down. But yeah, when I first drank it, I was like, "Ooh, okay."
Yeah.
Nice. But yeah, so when they found Christopher Richardson, who, like I said, was 12, he had different swim trunks on than the last time he was seen, so that's a little weird. His body was found in January of 1981. Now, his body was found alongside another victim, Earl Terrell, who was actually disappeared later on, which we will get to. Now, this is another one that I don't think, it's usually like set in the same series, the same timeline, but again, I think this is somebody else, because this is some different shit going on right here. June 22nd, 1980, a 7-year-old girl named LaTanya Wilson disappeared from her parents' apartment. Now, this shit, I think this happened in like broad daylight. So there's 2 guys. One of them is seen by a witness climbing into the apartment window, like taking out the screen, climbing in the apartment, and then taking the little girl out of the apartment, like out of the window. And like, I don't know if she was sleeping, if they drugged her or whatever. Now, I do think that when they went in, because the parents were sleeping in the apartment, so maybe it wasn't nighttime. The parents were sleeping in the apartment. I think she had at least one sibling, maybe 2, that were sleeping in the same room, and they didn't wake up. This dude, like, climbs in the window, picks up this little girl out of her bed, and takes her out the fucking window. Right? So, like, apparently a witness saw this and reported it to police, and I don't think the police did anything, or they didn't believe her. And then later on, like, several months later, they found her body.
Damn.
And she was a skeleton, and they couldn't tell how she had died. And they didn't believe the witness that said, hey, there was these 2 guys, and one of them climbed in the fucking window and just took her out the fucking window.
So 2 guys did that?
Yeah. So I don't know, like...
How old was she?
7.
She didn't fight?
I think she was sleeping.
Didn't wake up?
I guess not.
That's
I have heard of like
shit.
a few cases that happened. Like I've written about a couple cases that happened like this, where somebody just came in the window and like took a kid, like while they were sleeping.
You wouldn't think it'd be possible. I guess it is.
I could see it because
Little kid says, "Oh, it's my daddy taking."
That's what I mean. I mean, the little kid, they might kind of wake up and be like, "Oh, it's mom" or something like that. Because I've seen like people carrying around little kids and they look like fucking knocked out. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's possible.
That's some weird shit.
But fucking scary. But I don't know if this was the same.
How were they described?
I don't know if she got like a super good look at him. But she did say that, like, one of them, like, brought the girl out and then was, like, talking to another dude, and then they took off. And then they later found that girl. Like, she disappeared in June, and then they found her in October. Like, but she was already a skeleton.
So that kind of lends credence to a fucking pedophile ring thing, a philosophy.
Yeah, I'm not ruling that out.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of weird shit going on.
But I'm telling you, that's different than the Wayne Williams.
I think that's different, too. That's different. That's a very different MO.
That's a different fucking deal.
I mean, I don't think Wayne Williams would have the balls to crawl in somebody's window. He was more, I'm going to lure people into my car kind of dude.
Yeah, Wayne Williams this is what I'm thinking he's doing. All right, this is based on everything I've heard of this guy, and you're refreshing my memory telling this story. What I think he's doing, he's pretending to be a talent scout.
Yeah.
And he's using the fucking silver tongue to get these boys to get in the car with him. And then he's telling these boys everything these boys want to hear. Then he molests them.
Yeah, and then kills them.
And then kills them.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know why he thinks he can't let them go. You know what I mean? Because there are guys that do that and let them go and come back and molest them again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For some reason, he thinks he has to kill them, or part of the kill is also part of the thrill.
I suspect it's that latter.
Maybe.
Thing. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
It really does seem like...
Or he's just so scared to let one of them go because they'll rat him out. Or he gets rejected, so then he forces himself on them.
Yeah. Well, and he might be killing them too because, I mean, people did know him in that neighborhood. Like, he wasn't as famous as he claimed to be, but people did know who he was, and they did know that he was, like, trying to recruit kids for this boy band that he was putting together. Yeah. So maybe he felt like he had to kill them because it's like, hey, if somebody, like, recognized, you know what I mean? If he would know who I was. Yeah. Maybe some of the kids knew him. Like, from around the neighborhood and stuff. And he's like, well, I have to kill them, otherwise they'll, like, fucking narc.
Yeah, he doesn't... Maybe he's afraid of getting a reputation of being a pedophile.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
So he has to kill him. Because, you see, there's fucking loads and loads of cases of guys just seducing kids of either sex and then just having fucking constant relationships with them over a period of years at that age. And there's some dudes that could do it.
Yeah.
I don't know why he decided that he had to kill him. It can only mean that killing them is part of his motive.
Yeah.
That he's getting into that.
And like you said, I think he didn't want it getting around that he was into that kind
or something like that. You're right.
Because he was kind of known. Like, people did know him around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I don't think he wanted to.
Maybe he figured. Maybe it figured it risked his reputation too much.
That he had to kill him. Because he seems to me very much somebody that, because of his inflated resume and his inflated ego and everything, he seems somebody who is very much like a reputation oriented person. So that's what it is. He would definitely want to maintain, a certain like facade.
Yeah, that's what it is. Because I've seen stuff on just damn serial pedophiles. They got serial pedophiles out there. Some of them molested 20, 30 kids. And most of those kids didn't rat that dude out.
Or even if... I feel like sometimes, too, depending on who the kid is and depending on who the dude is, sometimes they do rat him out, but they don't believe them.
Nothing happens, right?
And they don't do anything to them. Right. So that's another
Most
issue.
of the time, the pedophile uses a lot of, like, fucking praise and fucking... he knows how to pick them. You know what I mean? Picks them because they have parents that the kid doesn't like the parents, so
they know how to groom children like that.
And the kids choosing the pedophile over the parents because the pedophile's better to the kid than the parents are.
Yeah, maybe he's nicer to them. He's nicer to them
and giving them whatever they wanted. So he's basically bribing the kid.
Yeah. Oh, I think that happens a lot.
And that happens, and I think a lot of people don't understand that you. See, we grew up in a different era where they would talk about that shit on television. You'd have that shit on fucking Geraldo and stuff, where they would talk about serial pedophiles. And some of these dudes were fucking playing 13, 14 kids at one time. for years. But you don't see that. You don't hear about that as much as you used to.
Well, I think there's a lot more awareness about it nowadays that it's not right. Because, I mean, when we were growing up, and even like prior to that, like these kids were about my age, like in the, late 70s, early 80s. It's like, yeah, you kind of heard about that shit, but it wasn't like, I don't know. I just feel like there was a thing where if you're a little enough kid and, like you said, maybe your parents are not around or maybe you don't like them for whatever reason. I mean, these are little kids. And you meet some guy and he's kind of like, he seems kind of cool and he's like telling you all the shit you want to hear and he's giving you presents and stuff like that.
Giving you clothes that you want.
Maybe some kids would not think that was suspicious. I mean, that's not... And that's not a ding on kids at all. It's like they're kids. They don't know.
And some of them didn't care, too.
Yeah, that as well.
Some of them, they were letting them smoke. They were letting them drink.
Right.
They were letting them stay over at the fucking house. They were letting them do stuff like that. So, but what you're talking about is, I'm not talking a lot of times about like little kids. We're talking about 13, 14, 15. That's usually what they were going for. Rebellious teenagers. That's a lot. That was the most common ones that they went for. Rebellious teenagers coming out of homes that were breaking up, broken home type.
Yeah.
Deals.
Well, and like you said,
or abusive homes.
People that are, pedophiles that target kids, regularly, they know how to target children. They know how to talk to children. They know how to bribe them. Like you said, hey, come to my house. So he has all the best video games. He has like a big TV. He has all this other kind of shit. And, they know how to like play to kids' weaknesses, I guess. Yeah. Like, because that's their whole thing.
Yeah. And then there was like some of the shit's kind of like weird, morally gray. Like I knew a girl. You don't know her. I don't think I've ever mentioned her to you. She was from New Orleans. She ran away from home at probably about 14 with a goth guy who was probably about 23.
Yeah.
All right. But when you really heard her family story, I kind of understand why she ran away from the fucking family.
Oh yeah, it happens.
I mean?
It happens.
And the dude loved her, was nice to her.
Yeah.
Totally illegal. But he did protect her.
Yeah.
And he protected her from the family. There was bad shit going on at the family home. So, and I don't think he wasn't per se grooming or anything. It was just two goth kids.
Yeah.
They were into the same shit and there was an age difference. And she came from a fucking bad family. And running off with this guy, which he was a good-looking guy, but running off with that guy was beneficial to her.
Yeah.
The law is not going to look at that as if that was fucking right.
Well, because in most cases it's not.
Right.
But, there may be cases like that.
Yeah.
Where that happened. Because, like I said, if I was...
I knew the dude, he was a good dude.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that had happened.
Right.
Because I met them after she was already about 20.
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't realize how long they had been together.
Yeah.
But it's just weird. You know what I mean? Just people that you fucking run into. You know what I mean? But, she came from a very abusive fucking home.
But I can understand. I mean, had I come from, my family was very, nice and normal. Yeah. But if I had come from a horrible family like that, when I was 13 or 14 years old, if some like older dude had come along and said, hey, run off with me to some other city.
I'll get you out of this,
then I totally would have done it. Yeah. So I understand. I understand that. I completely do.
And, I just, man, the law would say that was fucking bad. Mm-hmm. But, I'm not going to say all the details, but knowing all the details, in a way, he rescued her.
Yeah, see, where shit like that happens, there's kind of like, obviously kids that are like really, really young and dudes that are really, obviously that is fucked up and that should not be allowed. However, like in the middle, there's this window where it's kind of like,
it's kind of gray.
I think it has to be taken on a case-by-case basis. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because especially if there's not like a huge age difference. Like I said, if it's like a teenager and like somebody in their 20s.
Yeah.
That's weird, but it's not, you just have to take it on a case-by-case basis. Now, when you're talking about like an 8-year-old kid and a 40-year-old dude, then obviously that should not be allowed ever. But when it's teenagers and somebody that's just out of teens, that's a little more
and it's a teenager running from a bad environment.
Yeah, that
into a
that
much
I
better
think
into
there
a
could be some extenuating
into a much
circumstances.
better environment.
Yeah. So I definitely think that should be taken on case by case. But yeah, so I said I was going to finish out 1980 before you finished drink. Okay, so the day after LaTanya Wilson disappeared, she was taken out of her fucking parents' apartment by whoever. The next day, June 23rd, Aaron Weish, who was 10 years old, disappeared after running an errand to a local grocery store that was near his house. He was seen getting into a blue Chevrolet. Now, the witness said there was either one or two men in the car, like two black men. Now, another witness said that she saw Aaron Weish being led from the grocery store by someone who did not look like Wayne Williams. She said this was a 6-foot-tall, 180-pound black male. Now, Wayne Williams was only about 5'7", and was kind of like, was much younger. Because this dude that she said she saw was about 30, whereas Wayne Williams was only in his early 20s. And didn't weigh 180 pounds either. He was like kind of he was a little bit pudgy when he was younger, but he wasn't, he wasn't a big dude. And also, she said that the guy that she saw Aaron Weish with had a mustache and a goatee. Now, the description of the car that she saw, the blue Chevrolet, was similar to the description that had been given in the case of the Jeffrey Mathis abduction. So, like I said, we're talking about a couple of different cars here. And I'm not saying that the witness report was necessarily accurate. I mean, because, but there's not any reason to think that it wasn't accurate either. So maybe we're talking about, like I said, an accomplice, or maybe there was more than one going on at the time. So the next day after that, they found Aaron Weich's body under a bridge. Now, the official cause of death, again, asphyxiation. Now, they said he had died from a broken neck. So at first they said, well, it's possible that he could have fallen off the bridge and died accidentally. However, his family were like, he was terrified of heights. He would not have gone on that bridge. He wouldn't have jumped off the bridge. He wouldn't have done any of that kind of shit. So I kind of feel like they do treat it like a homicide. And they're saying, he could have, been strangled and then fallen and broken his neck or whatever. But, they can't really say, since the neck was broken, since they didn't find any, evidence of, a ligature or anything like that. So they can't definitively say it was asphyxiation. However, they did say that it was, or they couldn't definitively say it was strangulation. Now, July of 1980, there were two more children, Anthony Carter and Earl Terrell, who were also murdered. Between August and November of 1980, 5 more killings took place. All the victims, African-American children between the ages of 7 and 14, all of them killed via asphyxiation or strangulation. Asphyxiation could be strangulation or it could be suffocation or, could be either thing. So we're already up to, we're not even in 1981, and we're already to a shit ton of fucking crimes. So you want to take a break so you can refill your drink?
Yeah, I gotta refill my drink.
Right, so we gotta take a break right now, and when we get back, we will talk some more about the Atlanta child murders case.
Hey, baby cookie. What you doing? Oh, you looking out the window? What's going on out there, huh? What's going on? Yeah, you look all contemplative. Aw, you don't want to be on TV today? Okay, I'm sorry. You look all chill. Look at your little paw. You're so cute.
You love true crime. I love true crime. And I've spent the last 3 years compiling a series of the most intriguing unsolved murders of the 20th century. It's called The Faceless Villain, and Volume 3 is available now. Featuring such fascinating cases as the Ketty murders, the Carrie Babies case, the Frog Boys, the Alcasar murders, and the Inokashira Park dismemberment incident, The Faceless Villain Volume 3 is an involving exploration of unsolved slayings spanning the years from 1980 to 1999. Pick up your copy in print or ebook formats on Amazon, or download the audiobook version from audible.com, and get ready for a chilling journey through modern crime history.
Hey, we're back. All right, talking about the Atlanta child murders. So when we last left, we were talking about 1980. Now we're into 1981, in which the murders obviously continued. First known victim of 1981 was Looby Jeter. Now, he disappeared on January 3rd. His body was found about a month later, on February 5th. Now, he had a friend named Terry Pugh that also went missing in January. The weird thing about the Terry Pugh case was that before they found his body, the police received an anonymous call saying where his body was. Now, I've heard from a couple different documentaries and sources and stuff like that the caller sounded like a white person. I'm not sure if that's the case or not, but when they went and checked out where the body was, they did find the body there. So this is clearly somebody that knew where the body was. Now, interestingly, Terry Pugh lived in the same apartment building as Edward Smith, who had been killed back in 1979. He was one of the first victims, as a matter of fact. So between February and March of 1981, there were 6 more bodies discovered, and these were all believed to be linked to the previous murders. Now, among these was Eddie Duncan, which was believed to be the first adult victim. Now, as I said previous to this, all of the victims had been essentially children or very young teenagers, preteens, whatever. But at some point, the murderer did seem to start targeting older individuals. Now, if you guys saw the second season of Mindhunter, where they kind of went into this a little bit, this has been fictionalized somewhat for the show and everything, but the profilers did get brought in, and they did predict that at some point, because the killer was probably an attention-seeking type of killer, that they would be following media coverage of the crimes and that they might possibly change their MO or their victim profile slightly, or the way they dump their bodies or whatever, like after the crimes had gotten to like a particular case. So they, so he would like think that it was like a different killer. He was trying to make it look like a different killer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they're saying this is somebody that's following the police investigation, knows something about police investigation, and so therefore might change shit up a little bit. And indeed, that is exactly what happened, because if Wayne Williams did indeed commit all these crimes, he did start targeting slightly older victims, and he also started dumping them in rivers instead of in the woods, which the FBI profilers also predicted that he would do, particularly after news of fiber evidence started going public. Now, they didn't want to, because they had actually found some fibers on some of the victims. And you have to think this is like the early, like late 70s, early 1980s. Fiber evidence was kind of still not seen as like that big a thing. So when the investigators were like, hey, we have like the same like carpet fibers that we found like on this body, on that body, a lot of the police didn't really take it all that seriously. You know what I mean? Like they kind of thought it was
like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Like it wasn't like a big deal. It's like, oh yeah, it's like the same carpet, big fucking whoop-de-doo. But there is actually like a real legitimate science behind that, and I don't think the police like understood that in the late 70s and early 80s. So the fact that they had like the same carpet fibers on several of the victims was kind of a big deal, and I think they didn't like really see it as a big deal.
Well, they probably didn't think a jury would buy it. That's the only thing they care about. Will a jury fucking convict on evidence like that? They probably didn't think it would work.
Ironically, I think that was one of the things that made the jury convict.
You're right.
Was all the fiber evidence that they had.
Right.
Because they didn't have any other... They had some witness statements. But they didn't have any fingerprints. They didn't have any, obviously, there was no DNA back then. But the fiber evidence, I think, did go a long way toward convicting Wayne Williams. And also, him taking the stand in his own defense was probably a mistake.
Williams going for older guys actually is a sign that... maybe what it was is that was more what he was into. Could be that he went after the little ones first.
To practice?
Yeah. Well, he didn't have his confidence.
Yeah.
He knew he could take those.
Yeah.
But
that might have been exactly what he was doing.
Then once he got good at that, he's like, I could handle them if they're a little bit older too. So he's probably
like
more
challenging himself.
Right. He was probably more into the older ones. I bet you more. Older teens.
Probably.
And then,
or 20s. Like a lot of the older ones were in their 20s.
So he was punching down at first.
Yeah.
And that's what he was doing. And
because he wasn't sure if he could.
Wasn't
do it,
sure
like
if he could
said.
do one, a little older. But then he's like, yeah, I could get the older ones. I mean, he's not an intimidating dude. When you see the dude, he's very feminine.
Well, he's kind of dumpy. He was kind of dumpy.
Dumpy, effeminate.
He lost a lot of weight in prison, I noticed, because I saw him in 2010 and he seemed very thin.
He's very bitchy. He's not a macho guy. Or he doesn't exude fucking machismo in any way. So he didn't want to bite off more than he could chew. But then when, he got some practice, and he's like, I can go for the older ones too. So, once his confidence got built up.
Although,
and then he's like, you know what, I'm gonna fucking dump him in the river. He's trying to disappear off the radar, is what he's trying to do.
Well, like I said, after the fiber evidence became public, he would have known enough about law enforcement techniques, because he did actually read about that kind of shit, and he was kind of a cop groupie, like I said. He would have known that maybe that could finger him. So, and as I said, that's why the FBI profiler said he's going to start dumping bodies in the river to get rid of the evidence.
Right.
And that's exactly what he did. Right. Exactly.
Yeah, he's trying to disappear.
Yeah. So, also, and I think I mentioned this earlier, but I believe all of the adults that he killed were childlike in some way. They were either small in build, or were short, or they were mentally impaired in some way.
He was looking for twanks.
Yeah, I guess.
Basically.
Although, like I said, they were usually short, or they were, or thin or something. Like you said, he wasn't a real big dude. He looks thin now because he's been in prison for a long time. Like I said, I saw an interview with him that was I believe it was from 2010, which is, a long time ago now, but I don't know what he looks like now, but he was much thinner in 2010. But when they caught him, he wasn't fat, but he was just dumpy looking. He was just like a dumpy looking 5'7". He had big old glasses, a big old afro,
Twinkie eating motherfucker.
Something like that. Yeah.
Eating Susie Q's.
I remember those. They still make those?
I don't know.
This might be another diversion, but it's remember the fucking, was it Dolly Madison that made those shit? Made that shit?
Susie Q's eat fucking the Hostess. I like those orange Hostess cupcakes. Remember the orange Hostess cupcakes with the orange frosting? It wasn't really frosting. It was like fondant. You could pull it off the top of it if you wanted.
Well, it's kind of like those fucking chocolate ones that have those swirly thing.
Yeah, and then they had the ding dongs. They changed it to King Dons.
Yeah, what the hell was that about?
They didn't want you saying ding dong.
I thought that was two different things. I thought that there was ding dongs and then King Don's was the kind of ripoff.
No, it was.
You know how it's like Hydrox and then it was Oreo. No. Hydrox came first, in case.
I believe, based on my fucking memory.
Based on your the stuff that you pull out of your butt.
No. Based on my memory, it was ding dongs. And
there are ding dongs.
And over time, they caught a lot of flack for that, so they changed it to King Don's.
See, I remember both of those things, but I think they're two separate brands.
I don't know.
Now I have to Wikipedia.
I remember that same damn character. The drawing of the fucking, when he had the scepter and the crown.
Yeah.
And then later on, I actually liked the orange cupcakes. They're best. Remember the fucking Hostess cupcakes? They were orange. With orange frosting, and they had the fucking white curly Q going down the top of it with the frosting in the middle.
Chocolate ones.
How could you choose a Twinkie over that? And I like Twinkies, but given a choice between a Twinkie and the orange Hostess cupcake, I'm gonna take that orange Hostess cupcake. I'm gonna take that orange cupcake at any time, at any fucking time. And you know what? You take that bitch and you put it in a microwave.
Well, obviously.
15 seconds.
Yeah.
Just to warm and
and then it's like fresh.
It's totally different. It's a totally different experience.
You see the oatmeal cream pies, little babies.
Yeah.
Although I didn't like those.
The little Debbie oatmeal cream. The little
you
little
just put it in
Debbie
the
oatmeal.
microwave for a few seconds.
A few seconds, fucking change it into a totally different.
I was gonna say that as far as Dolly Madison
goes, it tasted classy after it had been.
That was like white trash class.
Yeah, yeah.
But you'd have that with your fucking RC Cola. But
with peanuts in it.
Yeah. With what I was going to say about Dolly Madison was that for some reason the thing that I liked the most was they had those pies?
Yeah, yeah.
Like they were big. They were like that. They had fruit ones. Like the fruit ones are good too. But for some reason, for like a year or two when I was a kid, I like the chocolate ones.
I knew you were gonna
with
say
like
that.
the pudding inside and had like Snoopy on the front.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I went through like a phase where I was like
apple
super
ones,
into those. They were all good.
Cherry ones, the lemon ones.
Good. They were all good.
Fuck. If you guys
they were pretty much all filling.
Yeah, if you
they were huge. They were like a fucking calzone.
If you're in Europe and you don't know what we're talking about, you don't know what you're missing. You didn't know what you were missing. These are white trash desserts. That fucking the South was created on the back of those fucking desserts.
Yeah, that's what made
and they
the
just
South
came out of
go
damn
all
dime
that sugar.
stores. They just came out of dime stores. They were responsible for all of the diabetes.
All the diabetes.
All the fucking diabetes. And the fucking right, man. Those things were good. All that little Debbie shit. The big old fucking Nutter Butters.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Not a Nutter Butter. What do they call it? Nutty wafer.
Yeah, what the fuck did they call those?
I don't know, man.
It was, like I said, I checked the thing. I honestly, like, probably my favorite Little Debbie, like, back in the day, was the zebra cakes.
Those are good, too, yeah.
Super
we got to get back to the show. These people are fucking getting fat just listening to us.
I'm getting fat listening to us, too.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I forgot all about those things. You can get a huge fucking case of that shit for $5. You can get a pallet for $20.
Well, they used to be, like, the whole box used to be 99 cents.
99 cents for a huge fucking box.
They're not anymore, but they used to be when I was a kid. It was 99 cents. I think there was 8 of them in there.
Yeah.
I think there was 6
Southerners know all about mass. You know what I mean? Fucking, we like to buy shit
if there's more of something,
based on by mass.
Better.
Yeah, mass and volume.
That's why you drink out of, like, big, huge jars.
How big is it? That's all we care about. How big is that shit?
It's like, we don't care if it tastes good or not. We
Just
just
how
want a
big
lot of it.
Yeah. It's cheap and you get a lot.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at this stage, it seems like he started killing adult victims, the first of which was Eddie Duncan. Now, in April of 1981, they also found another adult, 20-year-old Larry Rogers. Then there was one named John Porter, who was 28, and 21-year-old Jimmy Ray Payne. They were also murdered. Now, John Porter and Jimmy Ray Payne were actually ex-convicts. They had just been released from the state prison. They had been in there for burglary. Now, May 12th, 1981, FBI agents who had been brought in on one particular case of an abduction of one of the victims because they thought that the victim had been taken over state lines because they got an anonymous call from somebody that said they were in Alabama and that they had taken the kid. I don't know. I don't think that lead panned out because they found the body later and it wasn't in Alabama. But the fact that they had got that phone call, like, justified them bringing the FBI in on the case because that was like taking an abduction victim over the thing. So the FBI were involved, like, from fairly early on in the case. So May 12th, 1981, the FBI agents found another older victim, 17-year-old William Barrett. Now, he was found in a wooded area near his home. Now, a witness who worked at high school, and he had, like, run out of gas or something, and he saw a black man standing over the bridge, like, from where the body was found, like, underneath, and he saw the man standing, and he later said that at the trial that looked like Wayne Williams, like, standing there looking over the bridge to where the body was later found. He said the guy drove away in a two-toned Cadillac, which was white on the top and blue on the bottom, which I don't think that Williams had a car like that. Most of the people that saw his car said that it was like a white station wagon. But like I said, he had a couple of cars that he was running with. And like I said, there might have been fucking accomplices too. So end of May 1981 was the last victim of this particular series. Now this was a 27-year-old named Nathaniel Cater. Now this guy was apparently seen by a gardener named Robert Henry. He saw him at the, like, coming out of the Rialto Theater in downtown Atlanta, and he said that he was holding hands with Wayne Williams. Now, it's weird because I saw, like, in the CNN documentary, which came out in 2010, they interviewed him and they said, well, that's what you said at the original trial, that you said the guy that he was holding hands with was Wayne Williams, but then in later you said that it wasn't him, but he said that when he said that it wasn't Wayne Williams, that he had been, like, asked to say that. You know what I mean? Like, because, like, Wayne Williams was trying to get another trial, so he was trying to, like, drum up whatever, and, like, I don't know if somebody gave him some money to say, hey, say it wasn't Wayne or whatever. I don't know. But he said on the documentary, he's like, yeah, they told me like to say it was someone else, but I'm telling you right now in 2010 that it was Wayne Williams, and I'm completely certain of that because I knew that guy. So he said he saw them both, like they were holding hands and they were coming out. And that was like the last time that Nathaniel Cater was seen alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So suspicious. Now at this stage, like I said, there's some controversy over which murders like fall into this particular series because there are between 28 and 30 like canonical ones in what's called the Atlanta child murders case. However, I have read that there were some other cases, perhaps as many as 60, that were left out for whatever reason, either because they thought the victim was too old or because of the location or because of the way the victim was killed or whatever, even though it's very strange that some of the murders that were allegedly left out were kind of similar to ones that were left in. So, I don't know. And like I said, there was one particular murder that I was thinking of a girl where the girl was found tied to a tree with her hands behind her back and she'd been sexually assaulted and stuff like that, just like that 12-year-old girl early on. And I feel like that was similar enough that was probably the same killer, although I don't think it was Wayne Williams. I think there was another killer
that was doing that.
At least one other serial killer like operating around the same time. Whether they knew each other or were operating together, I don't really know. But
unlikely.
Yeah, I think that there was more than one.
No.
But I do think that Wayne Williams I don't think he was wrongfully convicted or anything like that.
It's a densely populated area. Statistically, back in those days, there probably would be more than one.
Yeah, which is scary, but it does happen. It's unusual, but it does happen. I mean, like I said, we've done a
lot of shows about that.
Where there's just like a particular geographic anomaly where for some reason...
We've done shows where we've pointed out, and some of this stuff was shit that happened up north, like in Canada, where a whole area of 2 or 3 cities would be rapidly collapsing because industry went away, and for some reason the damn serial killers come out of that area and feed on it like maggots fucking feeding on a dying corpse.
Either that or when a highway system would open up, like opening up new like avenues that hadn't been opened before, which I think was the case in London, Ontario, where new highways had just been built through the area, like new cities were building up.
So serial killer crime.
Yeah, so it was almost like new hunting grounds.
You're right.
And it does seem like, in the case of London, Ontario particularly, it seems like at least 5 serial killers, if not more, were going through that area at around the same, like in the same 2-decade time period.
Yeah, and you can always kind of pile on fucking economic depressions.
That as well.
You throw that on there where you have collapsing economies, crime goes up, including serial murder and serial rape.
Yeah.
And it's because prostitution goes up, because poverty's gone up. All kinds of weird shit happens.
Well, yeah, there's a lot
It's like an algorithm.
Well, there's a lot of there's a lot of unforeseen consequences that come about from economic deprivation, And so at this stage, you can imagine, so in Atlanta, because it had taken so long and, it did take forever for the police to actually come out in public and acknowledge that a lot of these crimes were probably committed by the same person, even though very early on when this shit started happening, obviously a lot of the parents of the, victims and stuff were constantly, contacting the police being like, hey, would you guys link all these murders? Clearly they were committed by the same person, but the police didn't really want to say that. And it really did seem like, even though the city of Atlanta at the time, they had a black mayor and commissioner, everything like that, but it's like they didn't want to say that there was a serial killer because Atlanta, I mean, a lot of their revenue comes from conferences and a lot of, it's like a huge travel hub in the United States. And I guess they didn't want to scare people off from visiting there or from coming there for business purposes. Also, they were initially afraid that the killer might be white, which might spark off kind of race riots. They were afraid that if this was a white killer or if it was someone from the KKK, which they did suspect for a time. And like I said, they did put several KKK members, including a guy named George Sanders and his family members. They put them under surveillance for a very long time because they thought they might have something to do with it because they made some kind of sketchy statements about the crimes. So the FBI did investigate that. So there was some feeling that, one, the crimes were not being investigated as a serial killer, even though a lot of the families knew very early on that it probably was a serial killer. And two, that there was some fear in the community that there might be some kind of cover-up.
Yeah. Now, hold on 1 second. Let me explain something. The reason why they thought the Klan might have been involved in this, that was a theory. They're not saying that the Klan are a bunch of pedophiles. That's not what the theory was. There was a theory that the Klan was going out and killing black children to try to create a black uprising against the police. Yeah. In which the police and white people would wipe out black people in this big uprising.
That's essentially, and a police informant who had been in the KKK did actually tell the police that they had been talking about doing that.
They thought that that's what it was.
Yeah.
But nah, that's not what it was.
That's not, I mean, like I said, when they did some investigation, some of the members they had under surveillance did say some really sketchy shit, like over like the phone and stuff. But they didn't find any evidence that they were like, involved in these particular crimes. Yeah. Although, like I said, they did have an informant that told them that the KKK had actually talked about doing this particular thing, killing one black child a month. Which is kind of what happened. I mean, some of them were closer together than that, but there was a period where it was pretty much one every month or one every couple of weeks.
The problem with this theory is that the Klan, during this period, and this also applies to today, is a bunch of shit talkers. They fucking talk shit. I've known Klan members, but I've known other fucking, guys that were like, fucking... what do you call it, Hoteps and fucking black Israelites. I've hung out with fucking a lot of crazy motherfuckers. And they all fucking say crazy shit. They don't tend to do nearly what they fucking say. Because they're fucking nuts. You know what I mean? They come up with these fucking crazy ideas and they talk shit. But most of it is about trying to impress somebody. They talk shit. Yeah. But they don't deliver. Most of them talk to talk, they don't walk to walk. Doesn't matter what. Same thing with neo-Nazis. They'll fucking talk all kinds of shit. But they don't ever do any of this shit. They're fat dudes at the bar. That's what they do. They get at the bar, they fucking drink, talk shit.
Yeah. I mean, there is a small percentage that do what they're saying.
But most of it's talking shit.
Most of them are just mouth.
Talking shit.
Yeah. But yeah, so there was a lot of tension, with the shit, and all of the families were kind of, and the mother of one of the victims, Camille Bell, she actually decided before the police really got serious about investigating these as a series of serial killer cases, she kind of got a lot of the other mothers, and they kind of put together a committee, and they were kind of like, well, we're gonna catch this dude ourselves. They even put together vigilante groups who would go with bats and shit like that, looking for the person. And this is really fucking sad, but one of the kids that was killed, Patrick Hofstadter, I believe his name was. I can't remember what his last name was. Baltazar, Patrick Baltazar. I believe he was 11 or 12 years old. The sad thing about this is that he was one of those kids that he wanted to, because at one point they put forward a huge reward. The city put up $100,000, and then I believe Muhammad Ali contributed another $400,000. So it was $500,000 reward. So this little kid, Patrick Baltazar, said, "I'm going to go out and catch this serial killer." He was 12 years old, and because I'm going to get the money and I'm going to buy my mom a house. And also, he wanted the reward money. So he thought he could, and he got murdered. Damn. Isn't that horrible? It's I was watching this fucking shit on the fucking, on the documentary, and it's just hearing that about,
ugh. And just, you ever find out who did it?
No, well, he was one of the,
Is it canonical?
Yeah, he was one of the canonical ones. So they think that
Wayne knew about him.
Maybe.
Damn.
The shit like this, you watch the documentaries with some of the mothers and stuff like that, and this one case, I think it was, it might have been the Camille Bell case, or it might have been the Patrick Baltazar case, where the victim had a 3-year-old sister, and the 3-year-old sister was terrified. After her big brother, that was her big brother, and he got murdered, And she was like terrified to leave the house. She was only 3. And it's like, she thought if her like big, strong brother could leave the house and never come back and get murdered, then it can happen to her. And another thing that happened too was that every time, the mom said like every time there was fog outside, she would go outside and start looking for her brother because she thought that the fog was heaven coming down. Ridiculous. And that her brother would be in it.
Yeah, terrible. This is, you know what this was reminding me of? Reminded me of the original Night Stalker.
Yeah.
Remember how they'd have those big neighborhood fucking meetings? They were all televised. Mm-hmm. And one dude stood up. I don't understand how these men can't defend their women. You know? I'm ready for the fucking Night Stalker if he comes to get me. And then fucking dude heard him.
Yeah, don't say
and
shit
fucking
like that
targeted his ass. And
don't say shit like that.
Didn't he kill him or no? He just raped his wife, didn't he?
Yeah.
And made him watch or sit outside. Yeah, it sounds like Wayne Williams heard about the kid and maybe saw him as a threat and said, "Well, I'll seduce him and kill him."
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if like all the stuff about it that might have come out after he was murdered. I'm not really sure, but I think that it might have come out beforehand. So maybe he did hear about it because he definitely seemed like somebody, like you said, like the original Night Stalker, Joseph D'Angelo.
D'Angelo.
I only just now remember his fucking name. But
if you fucking spoke up and fucking took D'Angelo's name in vain, you would fucking pay. Dude was a cop. He had cop skills.
Well,
and he'd come after you and fucking get in your fucking window and set up an ambush inside your own goddamn house and rape your wife.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's
like
make you wait outside while he was raping your wife. That's some fucking humiliation there.
It's very easy to talk big when nothing of yours is on the line.
Yeah.
But I will say that it's like there's always a bigger fish. They're even maybe not even bigger fish than you, but maybe they have a gun and you don't, or maybe they have they get in your house and you don't know that they're in there. It's like somebody can always fuck with you.
D'Angelo had the ability to ID you and find out where you lived, and would break into your house when you were at work.
And they'd wait.
And set up the fucking house and unload all your guns. He knew where you'd hide your guns. You're going to hide your guns near your bed. You know what I mean? So he'd unload all that shit and fucking disable your fucking window latches, your window locks, and then leave. And wait for you to come home and go to sleep. And he'd come through that window that he unlocked. And fucking bust in through your fucking bedroom window and fucking put a spotlight on you. He had a gun and a mask and fucking down on the floor.
What are you
He'd
gonna
arrest
do
your
then?
ass, basically.
Not so big then, are you? It's like that's
put handcuffs on you.
Yeah.
Put you out fucking front outside your fucking bedroom door. Put a bunch of fucking dishes over your head. He says, if I hear these fucking dishes fucking hit the ground or clatter, I'm gonna shoot your wife. And then he'd fucking take your wife and fucking jump in your bed and rape your wife in your bed, and you had to sit out there and listen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's like, and I'm not blaming
and he
victims
was trying,
at all.
Yeah, and he's trying to fucking prove his manhood over yours. And here's the deal. The reason why he did it is because he was a little dick motherfucker, couldn't handle it.
Yeah, he had a micro dick.
Yeah.
But, well, that's the thing. It's like,
and just because you got a little dick, I mean, Jenny's my witness. I don't have that problem. But like, if you got there's
just
other
for the record.
There's for the record, okay. But I'm saying if that's your if you got that problem, there's other ways to compensate. You know what I'm talking about? But you don't go out and fucking kill dudes and fucking rape other people's wives and shit just because you were fucking born unlucky.
That should go without saying. But, evidently we do have to say it.
But I'm telling you,
Knock
fucking in D'Angelo's case, that's what it boiled down to.
It always does.
I think that's what it boiled down to.
It's always a dick thing.
I think it was a dick thing.
All of the male
he had dickosis.
All the male serial killers are very. That's the thing about like studying these.
Yeah.
In a way, like I find them interesting, but in a way they're not. None of them are as smart as they think they are. They think they're like fooling a lot of people with all this like
sophisticated bullshit,
obfuscation about like all their motives and stuff like that. I'm like, it's all about your dick, isn't it?
It boiled down.
It pretty much is all.
It boiled down to little dickosis.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
It always boils down to
something dumb, something small.
If not little dick, but it's always about inadequacy.
Inadequacy, yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
That is always what it is.
Overcoming an inadequacy.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the inadequacy is being reinforced by the way you focusing on it too much.
Yeah. Because everybody has inadequacies.
Everybody has imperfections.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
Everybody. But it's how you deal with them and people that become serial killers can't deal with them in a healthy way, clearly. Yeah. But that's always what it boils down to. They feel inadequate in some way.
Yeah, you just don't know what the fuck's going on. I mean, one of the most popular motherfuckers I can think of in my generation would have been Prince. For all you know, Prince might have been a little motherfucker. You don't know. You don't know, probably not. But he was a short guy, you know what I mean? But very popular with the ladies. And, you know, you just don't know. There's a bunch of different ways you can fucking play something. But in the case of D'Angelo, I think little Dick Osis got a hold of him.
Yeah, if you get obsessed
and other people had to pay for it.
If you get obsessed with an inadequacy, whether perceived or real, and that's all you think about, and all you think about is overcompensating for that, then that is going to end in tragedy for you or someone else. It's like, that's the thing. Basically what you have to do, like I said, everybody has inadequacies, weaknesses. Everybody has that. But everybody has strengths also, and what you need to do is just focus on that, hone that, work that. Don't worry so much about, you can work on inadequacies, you can do that kind of shit, like try to make the shit better. But if it's stuff that you can't do that much about, then you have to not focus on it, because that's not going to work out well for anyone.
Most of it is things that you can control. Most of it.
I mean, and even if it's not, you just have to say, fuck it, I can't do anything about that, and just try to do other shit.
Yeah, I mean, shit. I mean, let's say you're a big fat motherfucker. You're just a big fat motherfucker. And that's what you are. You know what I mean? You may not be real popular with skinny girls, but you might end up being fucking Mr. fucking, you know what I mean? Mr. What's his name? You know what I'm talking about, Jenny.
No, I don't.
I'm getting kind of drunk. Now that I'm drunk,
I'm talking about. He says to me, he's like, random fat person. It's like, you know who I'm talking about. I'm like, I really don't.
The guy that all the romance books are about. Shit.
The guy that all the romance books are about.
Yeah, the Italian name. Never mind.
Fabio.
No, not him.
He's not fat.
No, not him. No, not him. You might be you might be very popular with
Casanova.
Casanova. That's what I'm talking about. Casanova. See, she knows.
You're going old school.
Old school. You might not be very popular with skinny girls, but you might be Casanova with overweight women. There's always a way. There's always a way.
And I'm saying too, in a way, if you're a dude, you have it easier, because women are a lot more forgiving of physical differences if you have other shit to offer. And we've talked about this before. I'm like, you can be 400 pounds, but if you are funny, or you're really, or something like that, you have something else to offer, then I don't think a lot of women would care about that. And if they did, they kind of suck. So, you know what I mean? But so as we were saying, I feel like Wayne Williams in this case, again, inadequacy. And I think it had something to do with the fact that, when he was a kid, when he was 16 years old, there was kind of a big thing about how he had his own radio station. He ran a radio station out of the basement of his parents' house when he was 16, which is kind of impressive. He was in Jet magazine. He was in all this other kind of stuff.
Yeah, that may not sound like much to now for you. So I don't mean to interrupt you. I just want to expound on that. Okay, having your own back in the 80s, having your own fucking radio station at 16 coming out of your house, that was ultra fucking cool. You had basically a pirate radio station.
Yeah.
Even though I think he was actually licensed, wasn't he?
He might have been, yeah.
And
well, that's the thing. His parents actually went into bankruptcy paying for him to have a radio station.
Yeah, and if you could run that right, you could make good money.
So I feel like when he was a teenager, he had all these big dreams. I have a radio station. I'm only 16 and I already have a radio station. He was getting some recognition for it. Yeah. So he's like, well, I'm clearly going to be this big famous person who's going to discover the next big thing. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be this, that, and the other. Then a few years down the line, he's still living in his parents' house. He's kind of still living in Atlanta. He's kind of hustling around trying to recruit little kids to fucking band. And he's just in this kind of 2-bit operation. And I think he felt inadequate, and I think that he lashed out because of that.
He kind of made some mistakes. Instead of getting already formed bands and playing their shit and merchandising through that, he probably would have done a lot better. He could have been Chicago's version of fucking K-Rock.
It was Atlanta, not Chicago.
It should be Atlanta. Yeah, it could have been like fucking Atlanta's version of K-Rock. I mean, there's a lot. You could go the underground way. You know what I mean? He should have been doing fucking like prototype rap.
Yeah, he should have been.
And you know, that would have worked.
But like I said, you know,
hindsight's 2020.
Yep.
But yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, and I'm not saying like, you know, I feel like he had a lot of potential when he was younger, and the fact that he didn't meet that potential, even though he was still very young. I mean, he was only 23.
That could have contributed to all this.
I do feel like inadequacy about that was a contributing factor.
You got a dude who's kind of trying to distance himself from the hood, who's intelligent. He's gay, which is already kind of a problem. Fucking, you know what I mean? Gay people are not really fucking that respected in the hood.
And this is the early 80s.
And it's the early 80s. This is before gay acceptance, okay? So he's trying to distance himself from all that and become something special. He's intelligent. He's got his own radio fucking station. But it bombed out. And that might have been a big blow to his ego.
Yeah, I think it was.
Had that radio station worked, and he had fucking been doing something kind of underground that was making a bunch of money, and he was making a name for himself, there's a possibility these murders never would have happened.
Yeah, because I think his ultimate goal, he wanted to be famous.
Yeah.
Which a lot of serial killers want. They want attention. They want fame.
I'm not saying that these dudes are born bad. I think it's a culmination of a lot of things.
I think it is too.
Part of it is also fucking bad luck. There's a possibility, had he found success with that radio station at 16, 17, 18, he would have had a little bit more self-acceptance. Maybe he would have found a boyfriend. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, maybe he would have like started to have a normal life and felt like he was like part of something.
And it would have gone, and then this motherfucker would have been like a fucking, eventually like a superstar.
Yeah.
Yeah, or a maker of stars.
Yeah, that like a big time producer. Yeah, sure,
that could have been.
I think that's what he wanted to happen, right. And the fact that it didn't happen, he couldn't handle it.
Right. Which is a sign of fucking strong will and ego, and fucking you got a very strong will and fucking big ego, and when shit doesn't go your way, you throw a fucking temper tantrum.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and then you know and then he becomes perverted.
Yeah.
His sexuality becomes perverted.
Yeah, he just couldn't take it anymore, and he just like fucking lashed out.
When you think about it, a tragedy on all sides.
Yeah.
Almost kind of like a...
and it wasn't really, I mean, other than him, obviously it's his fault because he chose to do this shit.
He made the decision.
But I mean, it wasn't anyone else's fault. Like, nobody... You know, it wasn't the kind of thing where it's like, oh, he got rejected by one person for like a music producer job, and that like, you know, led to, you know, I just think it was a conflation of factors. He just didn't get to where he thought he was going to get to, and he couldn't handle that.
I'm still going to blame the motherfucker because he decided to do what he was going to do.
Well, yeah, that's what I said.
And he could have just doubled down and put his nose to the grindstone.
He was still young.
Right. He still, he
was only in his 20s.
He hadn't failed. He hadn't failed.
I mean, shit. I could have a kid that age.
Most dudes that make it fail for a long fucking time before they make it.
Yeah.
It's just that bitch got impatient.
Yeah.
And he had weirdness to him that he allowed to take over. And
yeah, a lot of people did say he was real weird.
And you know, I'm sure he fucking regrets it because he probably realizes it himself, man, I shouldn't have done that. It's probably what it was.
Although
he's probably like, I shouldn't have done that shit.
I don't think you know,
he's an older guy now.
From what I've seen of his interviews, like I said, the most recent one I saw was 10 years ago.
He's denying it, right?
Yeah, he still seems very evasive.
Yeah, well, he's got to deny it.
He still seems like he thinks he's smarter than everyone.
Yeah.
You know, Soledad O'Brien was, she was asking him some pretty point blank questions, and like he would try to evade the question, and she would get on his ass about it.
He's got to deny it. He's in prison.
Yeah.
He can't fucking admit in public and have all his fucking cellmates and shit fucking see him up there going, yeah, I killed those little boys.
Little boys, yeah.
Yeah, that's not...
Because your ass going to get
your
killed
ass going to be fucked up. He can't admit it.
They got no patience for that kind of shit. But yeah, so at this stage, like I said, the FBI had gotten involved. They had done a profile. Now, as they showed on Mindhunter, the profile that they put forward before they even caught Wayne Williams, before Wayne Williams was even on anyone's radar, was eerily accurate to him. They basically said that it was going to be like a young guy that was like seeking attention, was very ego driven. They said it's going to be somebody that has kind of a job, but not like a great job. Somebody from around that neighborhood, but maybe thinks they're a little bit better. You know, and it, you know, the shit that they said was going to happen was like pretty spot on. Also, they said it was somebody that had either been a cop or was like a cop groupie or like, you know, studied a lot about cops and was interested in law enforcement, which was also true. So they kind of like called a lot of the shit. So because the FBI had said that after the fiber evidence came out that they were starting to link these crimes because they'd found some of the same carpet fibers and the same blanket fibers, some dog hairs, stuff like that on, you know, a number of the bodies that linked them all together. So the FBI profiler said, well, at this point, we think that the killer will start dumping bodies into rivers so that, and maybe nude, so that there will be less evidence to connect the crimes to him. And indeed, that is exactly what happened. So what the FBI said they should do was like, well, you guys should put stakeouts on like all these bridges, like over the Chattahoochee River and the South River, like, you know, where some of the other, where some of the bodies have been found. And it's like, we predict that he will dump another body in this river. That will be where the next body will be. So they had 14 different sites of stakeouts. Now they had the stakeout going for, I believe, 4 weeks. It was like a month. Now, they had been doing this, the 14 fucking stakeout locations on these bridges at different sites along these two rivers where they had found bodies in the past. Now, for 28 days, nothing had happened, and they were starting to get a little annoyed. So it was very famously the last night that they were going to do a stakeout. The last night. And one of the cops on one of the bridges, this was May 22nd, 1981, hears a fateful splash into the river. And that cop heard a splash, and then another cop saw a white 1970 Chevrolet station wagon turn around and drive back across the bridge. So they go and they pull this dude over, and guess who was in the car? 23-year-old Wayne Bertrand Williams. Now, they asked him what he was doing, because it's kind of the middle of the night, you know. They asked him what he was doing. This was his parents' car. He said that he had an appointment with a woman who was going to be like singing for him. He was going to audition her or something like that. I think he said her name was Cheryl Johnson. And he said, she just called me. She gave me this phone number. She gave me this address. I'm supposed to meet her at her apartment at 7 a.m. And I didn't know where it was, so I was driving around looking for it. That's what he said. Now, at this point, I think it's like a midnight or something, like the night before. So they thought that was a little fishy. And also, they saw in his car there was like about a 2-foot length of nylon rope, like in the car. Now, they didn't confiscate it at the time. They didn't have enough evidence to arrest him at this time. I mean, he's on a bridge. Nobody saw him like throw anything off the bridge. They just saw the car. They heard the splash, and then they saw the car like at the same time. So they figured the two things were related, and so they pulled him over. But when they checked out his story later about this Cheryl Johnson person, they could not find any such person. The phone number that he gave them was bogus. It was either not connected or it was like somebody that didn't know who the fuck that was. There was no such address, the address. Now, he claimed later on, oh, well, this woman was probably just trolling me. You know, he didn't use those words, but that's essentially what he said. And he's like, I didn't know. I was just like trying to find. And another thing, too, is that he said on this particular day when they heard the splash and he saw the car and everything, he said that he had been like playing basketball at this one like place. And then he said, oh, I went to this one studio to pick up something or whatever. Now, the person like running the basketball thing was like, yeah, he wasn't here that day. And also the person at the studio where he supposedly came and picked the shit up was like, yeah, he was here picking shit up, but it was the night after that. So the alibi that he had for that night was bogus. I mean, he lied to the police, essentially. So they thought that was a little suspicious. So, as I said, they didn't have... Now, Nathaniel Cater had been reported missing at this point, but they had not found his body yet. However, 2 days later, after they had pulled Wayne Williams over on this bridge, they found his naked body in the river only a couple miles from the bridge where they had heard the splash.
That's because he was dumping it.
Well, obviously. I mean, that seems like the most likely scenario.
I'm telling you, if you're skeptical over Wayne Williams as being the killer, Jenny and I have been doing this show a long time. We've been around the fucking block with this shit. That's him. That was the dude. They got him. That's him.
Yeah. Like I said, I think there was a couple of them in there that I think might have been somebody else, but I think he did most of them.
Of the canonical murders,
I think
he was the one that did those.
Yeah.
And
everything matched up. He matched
fits
the
it in every fucking way. There's a science to this.
Yeah.
And that's him.
I think so too.
Hell yeah. They caught him and it shit stopped.
Yeah.
The canonical versions of the canonical murders stopped. Because he was the one.
Yeah.
A serial killer can't stop what they're doing any more than you can't stop jerking off. Okay? Just because they catch Wayne doesn't mean you're going to stop if you're the one that's doing it. Bodies would have kept accruing.
Yeah.
They'd have kept showing up. Because the real killer can't stop.
I mean,
but because he was captured and they stopped, that meant that was him.
I mean, I'm not saying that child murder stopped completely and after that,
just that
but
there's a signature.
Ones with that signature did stop after him.
And they were all from that area. That's where those boys were taken from.
Now the weird,
and he fits it.
He does.
He fits it fucking to a T.
Well, like I said, everything the profilers came up with, even though the police at this, because you have to think this is like the early 80s, where profiling wasn't really like a thing. I mean, the whole FBI profiling department hadn't even come into being until the 70s. So this was fairly new, and a lot of like local police departments were still like looking askance at, it's like, what the fuck could you possibly know about anything? You're not even from here. It's like, you don't know the people, you don't know this and that and the other. They didn't really get, I think they thought of it as like a bunch of eggheads like coming in and like with their fancy psychology and fancy this and that. And they thought they didn't know what they were talking about. But in this case, the profile that the FBI profilers came up with was eerily accurate to the guy that they eventually caught.
Serial killers almost always, we're talking in excess of fucking 90%, fucking serial killers always kill within their own ethnic or racial groups.
Yeah.
That means he's black. That's who's doing this.
Well, and the FBI profilers knew that too, because they said if this was a white dude, because the victims' families were divided. Like some of the victims' families, still, were like, yeah, it's totally Williams. A couple of them were like, no, they don't think it was. But like I said, a couple of the cases I think are questionable still. Like I think it was somebody else. However, in most of the MOs, like the way that the children were taken, they were usually taken in broad daylight.
Yep.
In neighborhoods where a lot of people knew each other. So I feel like if it was a white dude,
he wouldn't get in the car with him.
He would have been caught much earlier because a lot of people would have been like, "Hey, who the fuck is that white dude?"
They kill
driving around like.
They kill within their racial group.
Most of the time,
they kill their sexual preference. All right, which means it's whatever this guy's into. If he's into women or if he's into boys. Wayne was into. He was into boys.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're talking about a black guy who kills young black men or young black boys, and the boys were getting into the car with him. So he was so we're talking about somebody who's familiar, somebody from that area.
Yeah, somebody who wouldn't stand out.
Someone who doesn't stand out. Somebody who's kind of trusted. They know who this guy is.
Yeah.
That's how a serial killer does it.
And he has a ruse. He has a thing where he is actually a music promoter. He has actually proof.
Right.
Because he did go to there was even like, there was a woman that owned a small studio there, and he worked there. I mean, he worked there, he brought kids in, he recorded them, so he did do that stuff. So if people asked, they said, yeah, I went to this and I recorded a single, or I did this, that, and the other. He had also worked with like the local news department. He didn't work for the news agency per se, but he was like freelance. He had a police scanner because he was a police groupie, like I said. And he would go to crime scenes, fires, car accidents or whatever, and he would film it and then he would sell it to the local news thing. Now, later on, he conflated that. Like, he made it a bigger deal. Like, I'm a journalist and I work for this. That's not what he did. He would go and film shit But and sometimes he would get there because he had a scanner. He would get there before the cops even got there, and he would film shit, and then he would sell it to the local news agencies.
There was a white guy that had a very similar fucking gig. All right, he was a fashion photographer. That's what he called himself.
Christopher Wilder, I believe that dude.
That's what his name was.
Yeah.
And he would pick up some of these fucking just beautiful fucking white girls. And
in malls, usually.
Yeah, and take them out to the desert for a fucking sexy photo shoot. You know, and they're going there willingly. Take them way out into the fucking desert where there wasn't anybody to see what the hell was going on. Rape and murder them.
Yep.
And bury them out there in the damn desert.
Yep.
And he did a lot of them. That's basically what Wayne Williams is doing. He's doing that, but he's doing it to young black guys.
Yeah. Well, that was
he's telling them he's going to make them a star.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what he was doing.
Yep.
Because some of the victims were seen getting into the cars willingly, so he wasn't like abducting all of them by force. I think he was luring them.
Yeah, and it's stupid shit. He sees me and says, "Hey, how are you doing? Hey, you look famous. Aren't you famous? You're not famous. You're doing stupid shit like that. You should be famous. I have a record. I have a whole radio station.
Yeah.
I'm looking to recruit guys for bands. Do you
and
want
like
to be
I
in a
said,
band?"
that wasn't completely a lie because he did record some kids
sure, and he's pulling out fucking cards. Probably has a business card, and he's probably got a little briefcase with fucking.
He had flyers. And
he
shit
probably
like
has
that,
a clipboard, and a cup of coffee, make you look important as shit. You know what I mean? That's what he's doing. Get in the car. We're gonna go, and I'm gonna interview you for this.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a little tryout. See if we can sing.
Yeah.
Some shit like that.
Well, because a lot of these kids, too, you have to realize were, they're from poor neighborhoods, and a lot of them were like, they would do errands and shit for their neighbors for like a couple of coins or for $1 or something like that. Because even like one of the kids worked for, there was like a seafood restaurant, and the guy that owned it, he would let some of the neighborhood kids, he's like, hey, I'll give you $1 if you go to like the fucking store and get me some, flour or something like that. So a lot of these kids were like running errands for pocket money. You know what I mean? Like around the neighborhood. So if Wayne Williams pulled up to you in the car and said, hey, can you sing or whatever? And it's like, hey, I'll give you $10, I'll give you $20 or something like that if you come and like record a song, then probably a lot of them would do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wouldn't seem all that weird. Yeah. And he was kind of known around the neighborhood, and he actually had recorded boys in the past, so it wasn't like he was completely making it up.
Yeah, it's not going to be some kind of outsider from that area. That was a pretty rough area. You're not going to have these fucking white dudes fucking in fucking white hoods and shit like from the Klan showing up, rolling up, and just grabbing some fucking black kid off the fucking road. He would scream fucking bloody murder. Everyone would jump out and fucking stop that damn car.
Well, yeah, like even
not
one of the
happened.
Investigators, because a lot of the investigators in the case were black as well. Like even one of them that was white was like when he was in the car one time, like with some of the other ones, like driving to some of the neighborhoods where some of the victims lived. Yeah. He's like, even when he was in the car, like everybody like turned around. Yeah.
Who's that white dude?
And he's like, everybody was like pointing at him, and he's like, what are they pointing at? He's like, because we have a honky in the car.
Yeah,
that's
right.
Why.
Yeah.
So it's like,
where'd you get that fucking white alien?
So it's like, so the white dude would stand out. So
right, yeah.
I do definitely believe in that. And we were talking about this, we might have talked about this a little bit on the Samuel Little show as well, where I feel like the serial killers that, go on for this long a time, 2 years is kind of like a long period of time, and are preying on children, particularly like in midday and everything like that, where he's just taking them off the street. You have to be somebody that blends into the community, or people are going to like notice you right away.
Yeah. He had stealth. He was part of the community. He was trusted.
Yeah. I don't think anybody, I think a lot of people thought he was weird, but I don't think anybody thought he was a serial killer. No. You know what I mean? Because you never think that, do you?
Well, I think they just thought he was a gay guy. I mean, he's obviously gay.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah, he did come. It's like he always denies it, but it does really kind of come across.
Oh, no. No, I just look at that dude and he just looks gay as shit. I mean, sorry.
He does, actually.
So he's just hiding it, but he just looks like a gay dude to me.
Yeah.
But he's in an area where he didn't want that he didn't want that on him.
That might have been another thing. He might have been like self-loathing about that as well.
Like a self-loathing gay, yeah.
Yeah, because he didn't want that to be true. And that was another
All you gotta do is just see recordings. All you gotta do is just see recordings of him back in the day when the news media is asking him questions. Remember when he's coming out of his car trying to go into his house? It's just a gay dude. I'm sorry.
The thing about it is that he really... And here's another thing, too, and this is another thing that the FBI profilers totally called, was that they knew that he was going to be like a huge attention-seeking individual. Now, during the time period, like where he got pulled over on the bridge, because like I said, The cops didn't arrest him at the time because even though they saw like a length of nylon cord in the car, that's not illegal. So there was nothing that they could do. There was nothing in the car that would like cause them to arrest him. All they had done was heard a splash. They saw his car allegedly turn around on the bridge. And then when they stopped him, he came up with a alibi, which later on they found out was bullshit. And then they saw that he had like some gloves and some nylon rope in the car, which they thought was weird. But like I said, it's not illegal. So during the time period where he got stopped and was like considered a suspect, and by the time that they had enough evidence to arrest him, they had given him a polygraph test. Okay. Actually, they gave him a series of 3 polygraph tests, and he failed every single one of them. Now, the guy that gave the tests, there was an interview with him on the CNN thing, and he said that he's like, basically, I just asked him like very straightforward questions. He's like, he was very interested in the polygraph test and asked me like, you know, what are you going to ask me? He's like, I usually like tell you what I'm going to ask you like before I even give you the test. So you're like prepared for it. And he's like, so, you know, did you dump this guy off the, you know, did you dump Nathaniel Cater off the bridge? Did you kill Nathaniel Cater? You know, the regular questions you would have. And he's like, I feel like, so he failed like every single one of the questions. There was like 3 major questions. He failed it. They gave him the test 3 times. He failed all 3 times. And he said the funniest thing was that Wayne Williams seemed genuinely shocked that he could not beat the polygraph test. I think that because he was a police junkie and he was super into law enforcement and had read all this shit about it. And like I said, later
he must have read some
CNN. Yeah. So I think that he thought, oh, I can beat a polygraph test. That's easy.
He must have,
and he was like surprised that he failed like every single time.
He must have read a fucking something about how to beat a polygraph.
That's what I'm saying. I think he read that exact thing.
Yeah, because there is some stuff out there. Well, if you say it, you believe it, you'll beat it. Or,
yeah,
you know,
but that's
not
it didn't
really
work
how it
in
works.
his case though.
The thing is though is that polygraph over the I used to think that polygraph was fucking like end all to be all.
No,
and
they
most
only
of it
use that to rule people out. It's not admissible in court for a reason.
Yeah, polygraph really has to do with the interpretation of the data. Some people can interpret it in a couple different ways. Although, okay, here's a better way to put that. Some people are good at running a polygraph on another person. Other people are kind of shitty at it. Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah.
Because there are some people that pass polygraphs that I'm thinking, I don't think that dude could have passed it.
Well, the thing about it is
I think the interpretation of fucking...
the polygraph measures is essentially stress.
Stress, right.
And if you are a complete psychopath who is not stressed out when you lie, then you might not have any stress. Most people do, though. And I feel like, but as I said, polygraphs are not super accurate, and that's why they are not, at least in the United States, I don't know about other countries, in the United States, they're not admissible in a court of law. The only thing that they use them for is ruling people out, essentially. Like, if you are brought in and they kind of think maybe you did something or you know something, and they give you a polygraph and you pass it and it's fine and everything, they're like, okay, well, they probably don't know anything about it. They just, use it to rule people out. So they gave him, like I said, they gave him every opportunity. They gave him 3 separate polygraph tests, and he failed all of them. And the guy that administered them said that he seemed really surprised that he had failed them. And like you said, I think that he had read a very specific book about how to pass a polygraph test, right. And I think he thought that he would be able to do it, but he couldn't do it.
Because there are some cases...
They said it was very obvious.
There are some cases where guys have passed polygraphs.
Yeah.
But that case is awful fishy.
Yeah.
Okay. One I'm thinking about is a UFO case. Remember when all those guys passed that damn polygraph test? The fucking Travis Walton case?
Yeah.
If they passed that case... Evidently the guy who administered that test said they all passed that test with flying colors.
Yeah.
Which means that the dude was abducted by UFOs. Okay. And
or those guys thought that he had been.
But the guy, Travis went up there and saw all kinds of fucking crazy shit that I'm like calling bullshit on myself. I'm like, dude, man, extraterrestrials wouldn't really do that, I don't think. You know what I mean? I just think it's... No, I'm just not gonna... The Travis Walton case, I think, is far fucking out.
Well, the thing is, though, if you saw... Okay... Let's say this happened. Let's say that you had this really, really vivid dream, okay? Or a hallucination that, to your mind, really happened. Like you couldn't determine if it had really happened or if you had dreamed it. And then if somebody gave you a polygraph about it, then maybe you would pass the polygraph because to you it's like maybe it did happen because you couldn't discern.
Certain elements of Travis's story just fucking sound too outlandish to me. But other people did see him being abducted by a damn alien spacecraft.
Yeah.
And they passed
Although,
that
like
shit.
I said, they thought they, or at least they thought they saw that. I don't know if they saw it or
at the
not.
time that shit happened, I don't think humans could fucking make a craft that they described. They said that shit was alien. I don't know, man. That's just fucking getting bizarre. I do believe in extraterrestrials. I do, because there has to be extraterrestrials, of course. You know what I mean? The universe is huge. Some of those UFO cases, fucking, man. I'm getting back on UFOs, but
some of those. What are you even talking about?
Some of those UFO cases are fucking very fucking important. You know what I mean? Fucking jets, fucking U.S. military jet pilots seeing weird shit. The fucking Pentagon backing them up. I've seen the fucking videos of little dots fucking flying around. There's something out there, but being abducted, fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not so sure about polygraph though.
I don't think anyone is. I'm just saying that it's significant that he thought he could pass, but he didn't pass.
Well, yeah. Well, he read it how to beat polygraph.
Yeah,
that's
the guy said he seemed very surprised.
They're harder to beat than you think, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, because a lot of the shit that they measure is not under your control necessarily, like depending on the person. But like I said, I don't think they're entirely accurate. It's not the end all.
I think a lot of
it's usually it's like I said, the only thing they use it for. It's not admissible in a court of law. You can't even bring it up. It's not in any state in the union, as far as I know. The only thing they use it for is very early on in the investigation when they're bringing people in that they think are suspects. Maybe this person knows something about it, maybe they don't, and they just want to be able to rule people out. Because if you can easily pass, you don't seem stressed out when they ask you about it. They say, well, you probably don't know anything, or you probably don't know anything. So they just use it to rule people out and like narrow down on who they think they really did.
So it goes back to what I was saying before. It depends on who's administering this shit, with the questions that they ask.
Well, you have to know what you're doing, just like everything else.
So there's a chance that a dude who's a quack could administer a fucking polygraph test and come up with a fucking incorrect result.
Yeah, I mean, some of it might depend on the questions they ask and shit like that too. But I mean, the monitors like measure shit. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it really did seem, at least the guy that administered these particular tests was like, it was very obvious that he was very nervous, that Wayne Williams was very nervous, and when they asked him those questions, he was lying.
I'm sure he was lying.
Like he said, he just looked at it and was like, oh, okay.
Well, yeah, I'm sure Wayne Williams was lying.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about the UFO guys.
Yeah. Oh,
fucking.
Okay. Well, that's
I'm sure he's lying because fucking they arrested his ass.
Yeah.
And the fucking murders stopped.
Yeah.
And he fits the bill perfectly. That's him.
Yeah.
He was out there near a body dump. You know what I mean?
Even though he said he had... I mean, even just the fact that he fucking lied about what he was doing out there, obviously, because they never did find this, like, mysterious, non-existent woman.
Have you ever known me to get in the car and fucking drive out into a remote area
and just stand around
a bridge?
Yeah.
No.
That's what I mean. That's not normal behavior.
No.
I'm just saying you can't, like, say the dude's a murderer just because of that, but there were, like, a ton of other things that added up. Because I feel like a few of the people that said, like, that maybe he was innocent of all the crimes, which I think is kind of a small percentage, or be like, well, yeah, he did this, and yeah, he did that, but it's like, you can't, it's all circumstantial. I'm like, yeah, but there's a point where there's so much circumstantial evidence that it's really unlikely that it was somebody else. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, yeah, standing on a bridge in the middle of the night is not...
Near where a body was dumped.
Near where a body was dumped.
And the body came from where you live.
You can't like arrest somebody just for that. However, if, say, for example, as in the Wayne Williams case, they found carpet fibers on at least 5 of the bodies that matched carpet that was in his house. They also found yellow fibers from a blanket that was found in his house, although he allegedly got rid of it in between the first police search and the second police search of the house. So I don't know how that went. They also found dog hairs on some of the victims that were similar to dog hairs of his dog, whose name was Sheba. This is a German Shepherd, I think. So it's kind of like there was like a conflation, and there were several witnesses that placed him with being seen with some of the victims, particularly Nathaniel Cater, like before they died. And, there was a bunch of little shit, but it just added up to like bigger shit. You know what I mean?
That's him. He did it.
That's what I'm saying. And, it should be said that, like I said, he was only convicted of 2, but, tellingly, they closed 23 of the 29 cases after saying, well, he probably did them. We don't want to go through all the money and all the heartbreak of like doing trials for all of these victims because they figured that he probably did them and case closed. There are a few that are still open, but
in the past, when they have arrested the wrong man, the murders continued.
Yeah.
That's just telling.
Yeah.
He was arrested and the murders stopped.
But what I was going to say, like, about the FBI saying about him being attention-seeking, so after they brought him in and they did the polygraph, and then they let him go back to his house, which was also his parents' house, the first thing that he did the next day was he called a press conference.
I remember that. I saw that.
And he wouldn't let them show his face.
Yeah.
Now, he did admit to all the press, because there's still footage of it, like you can see it, it's on YouTube and everything. He wouldn't let them put his face on camera, but he did admit that he had failed the polygraph test, but he's like, they want me for this. And he started like putting forward the narrative that he was just like a scapegoat. You know what I mean? That it's like, I just happened to be like in this place and, at the wrong time, and they kind of got me for all these crimes. And there was a little bit of a thing too where he's like, well, they don't want it to be a black man. So or they didn't want it to be a white man because, they didn't want to race bias. So they're pinning it on me instead, even though I kind of feel like that wasn't the case. Like I said, I don't necessarily believe that he killed all 29 of the
black investigators knew it was a black guy.
Well, yeah, and one of the guys on the documentary even said that exact same thing.
Because they hunt within their fucking racial group.
Most of the time they do.
Yeah.
There have been a few serial killers that have gone
outside their race.
Or that have killed, like, people of multiple races. There has been particularly serial killers.
Some motherfuckers want variety.
Well, serial killers, particularly that target, like, prostitutes, will usually not really
It just depends on what is accessible. What's accessible.
And,
that's really
what
the
victim profile is. But, yeah, so... As I said, on several of the victims, they had found, dog hairs, fibers from carpet, because they took a lot of shit from Wayne Williams' house, his parents' house. Now, one thing that a lot of neighbors said was that after the police had come there and taken a bunch of shit from the house, like the carpet, bits of the carpet and bits of the blankets and the comforter and all this other kind of shit, shit from his car, which also matched some of the fibers found on the bodies as well. Allegedly, some of the neighbors said that the day after the first police search, that Wayne Williams and his dad were out in the back burning a bunch of stuff, like in the grill out back. So, allegedly, I'm just saying. And another thing, too, and Soledad O'Brien brought this up when she was interviewing him, was that, they found all these yellow fibers that were supposedly from this blanket that was in his house. And he's just like, well, the blanket's not there now. And she's like, yeah, because probably you destroyed it, like, in between the first search and the second one. And he's like, well, you can't say that there was no yellow blanket. It's like he kept saying stuff like he never said... I don't think he ever came... he would come out right and say, like, oh, I never killed anybody. But he would always kind of phrase it like, nobody ever saw me hurting anybody. Nobody ever saw me killing anybody. It's like, and I just found it weird that he phrased it like that. Almost kind of like, well, you can't prove it.
You're right.
Not that he didn't do it, but that you can't prove it.
He's trying to take a legalistic approach.
That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like he's just like being evasive.
Well, yeah, but I also understand what he's doing. He's saying, well, you're trying to convict me on things that you don't have evidence for.
Right.
That's what he's doing. But he knows that there's no evidence because he was there.
Yeah.
You didn't see me do this. I did it, but you didn't see me do it. You weren't there.
That's what I mean. I thought it was very, like, instructive that even this many years later... in 2010, he's still saying, no one saw me do this. No one saw me. That's what he was saying. Like, and later he would say, oh, I didn't kill anybody. Right. But the fact that he said that, like, right out the gate, that just sounds like a very weird way to phrase it if he were innocent, is what I'm saying.
It is weird.
Yeah, so he goes to trial. Now, they decided to only go after him for the 2 murders of 2 of the older victims because that's what they had the most evidence for. However, one thing that they did allow the prosecution to do, which they do in some cases. I'm not sure how all states operate, but in Georgia it was apparently this. You could introduce evidence from the other murders if you could prove that there was enough evidence that there was like a pattern there. You know what I mean? Even though he wasn't technically on trial for these other like 5 or 6 murders of the children, you know what I mean? That they had like a pretty solid case for. They're like, well, he's not being charged with those, but you can introduce evidence from that just because you're establishing a pattern. You know what I mean? Even though he's not being convicted of them. So they did allow them to do that. There were 5 or 6 other cases where they allowed them to, introduce evidence for that. It might have been as many as 12. I'm not really sure. But so they dramatized some of the trial, or most of the trial, in the fucking 1985 thing that I watched. And some people said this, some people said that, some people said they saw Wayne, some people said they saw another dude. It's like there was like 2 or 3 different cars. Some people said they saw a brown Cadillac, some of it was a white station wagon, which is what he had. So like I said, it's not out of the bounds of possibility that he might have had an accomplice, or there might have been like a pedophile ring. That's not totally weird.
It's not out of the bounds. I find it unlikely, though.
It's probably unlikely. I mean, I
don't think he would have shared, if you understand what I'm talking about.
Maybe not. I do think that there was another killer running around, though. I think at least like the female victims, that was probably another killer. Right. I think that was another killer.
I think Wayne Williams was very private about what he was doing.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have shared with another killer. And I think he was embarrassed about what he was doing. He didn't even want to be known as being gay.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, so because he really wouldn't admit that, even though some people said that they had seen him like soliciting men for boys for sex. Or
I think he's doing everything on the down low. This is a kind of a dark secret.
Yeah.
I think.
So,
that's my take on him.
So what ended up happening at the trial was that even though his defense team strongly suggested that he not testify on his own behalf. Now, the weird thing was that most of the time that he was in police custody, he pretty much kept his cool. He was just very, cool. He would he was very adamant about being innocent, but he didn't lose his cool or anything like that. However, some of the prosecution were like, well, if you keep needling him, he seems like the type of person that will eventually blow up, and that's what we need him to do, because we want the jury to see, because as it was, he came across as very mild-mannered. He didn't come across as a killer. But they said if he loses his temper and flips out on the stand, then everybody will see, that side of him, and it will be really damaging. And indeed, that is exactly what happened.
Bitchy little motherfucker.
He got on the stand, and the prosecutor just kept needling him and needling him, because he knew that eventually he was gonna lose it. Yeah. And he did. Yeah. So he basically said, you want to see the real Wayne Wood? This is him. And he was freaking out. And a lot of the jury members later, they talked to a couple jury members on that documentary. One of them said the fiber evidence had been a huge thing, because the fiber that they found, particularly the one from the green carpet that had been in his house, was very unusual. The pattern of it, under the microscope, was a very strange, it wasn't a real widespread kind of carpet. So the fact that they had found it on, I believe, 5 of the victims, and they found it in his bedroom of his house as well, was astronomically. He said the odds were astronomically against that. However, a lot of jury members said that one of the things that pushed them toward conviction, because it only took them 11 hours to find him guilty of at least the 2 murders that he was being charged with, was the fact that he had just lost it on the stand, and they could see that this is the person that, because before they said they couldn't really see it because he seemed very meek and mild, and he didn't really seem like somebody that could kill somebody, because he wasn't real big, he wasn't intimidating, and a lot of these victims had been strangled, and some of them had strangled in headlock type of thing, he'd put them in their heads like that, in his elbow, in the crook of his elbow, and he would strangle them like that. And so a lot of people didn't think that he would be strong enough to do that, although they did have a lot of people testify that he was a lot stronger, physically stronger than he looked. he also said later, I don't know, this is probably not true, but he did say later on that he had learned some CIA hand-to-hand combat techniques. He said that later on.
Yeah, him and Frank Dukes.
I know, they trained together, I guess.
They trained together.
They went to the Kumite.
Yeah.
They fought in the Kumite, I guess.
Yeah, Van Damme was there.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, so the fact that he lost his shit on the stand was one of the things that probably got him convicted. And he actually seems to acknowledge that, because in a 2010 interview, he said that when he lost it, he said, "I'm my own worst enemy." He's like, because I could see it as soon as I lost my temper, I could see it in the jurors' faces that they were like, "Oh, this is the dude," because this is the side of him and they hadn't seen it yet. So I guess his defense team were right in saying, yeah, you shouldn't get your ass on the stand. But he did. He insisted. And that's what ended up happening. But like I said, I don't see that as a bad thing, because he's probably the motherfucker that did all this stuff. So
he did it.
So I don't think that was such a bad thing. I think it was a good thing that he got caught. But now, so a lot of the families, like I said, were kind of pissed that they never really did bring any formal charges in any of the child murders, because essentially, even though they consider 23 of them solved, because they think, well, he did them even though he didn't really get formally charged or convicted of them, some of the families still think that maybe he didn't do it and maybe there was another killer running around out there. In a couple of the cases, I do think they're probably right, because like I said, I think particularly the girls and stuff, I think that was someone else. But I do think Wayne Williams was probably rightfully... I mean, those 23 cases that were all that similar, I think those were all probably him. Whether he had an accomplice or not, I don't know. But I do think he was involved in those.
23 is a big number, but that's actually very reasonable for a guy like this.
Yeah.
A dude who looks and acts basically normal can get that many.
Yeah.
We've talked about
this is over a 2-year period.
It's over
as well.
Yeah, and fucking we've talked about other killers on this program that have fucking racked up scores like that just only in a few years. Having a good ruse and looking harmless helps a lot.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's him.
I think it is too. Yeah. And the FBI profilers, like I said, even though there was shit later on with a lot of the shit that came out about the KKK, where at least some of the they at least recorded some phone calls around the time period where at least one of the members was saying, he didn't say that he had done the crimes, but he was happy that they were being done because it was wiping out future generations of N-words.
Yeah.
He did say that on the phone call. Also, there was another phone call where one of them said to another one, "You want me to go get you another kid," which they thought was fishy. So the FBI did look into that angle, but they couldn't really find any evidence, any physical evidence, tying them to the case.
We got to do a show about the Klan one of these days. about the whole history of the Klan.
Yeah,
it would make an interesting show.
It probably would, yeah.
There isn't one Klan. A lot of people today think there's one Klan and it's one long continuous Klan. There were 3 clans, really. The original Klan, and then the Depression era Klan. Then it ended up ending later on, in the fucking 50s. And then there's the modern Klan. And they were all very, very different. Some of them were organizations, and some of them just aren't. But that's for a different show, though.
Yeah.
You can't just put anything on the Klan as if the Klan is kind of like one big organization. It just isn't anymore. It hasn't been for a long time. It's just a boogeyman that people try to use.
Well,
now.
I mean, in the 50s and 60s, because I wrote about a bunch of these cases in my book. Yeah, they did a bunch of it, and they admitted the shit.
Well, that was during a time where it was kind of like political terrorism.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. But they killed black sheriffs and stuff.
Yeah, but the Klan, the modern version of the Klan, is not that. It's bullshit. You know what I mean?
Well, it's not one monolithic.
No,
yeah,
it's not organized.
It's not. So
and another thing I was saying is that the modern Klan is poor, which that makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
The original Klan had nothing to do with, say, the Depression era Klan between the 20s and the 50s and the 60s. That actually was what they would call the Invisible Empire. It actually was something. You know what I mean? There was something to it then, but that's gone. That's gone now. And it had to do with the fact that the damn leader got fucking arrested for rape. You know what I mean? Fucking, you know what I mean? And the guy that was behind. And it was a scam even back then. It was a money scam.
Yeah.
But you just can't lay it all at the feet of fucking at the Klan.
Yeah,
There's nothing to that. There's nothing
I can see why the community would think that.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's not like that was completely unfounded. But in this case, it really does seem like... Now, even John E. Douglas, the profiler who, one of the characters in Mindhunter was based on, he says that he does believe that Wayne Williams is guilty of most of the murders, but not all of them. Not of all of the canonical...
Well, there were more than one killer out there.
Yeah. And like I said, I think there were a couple that were probably not him. Now, Williams has, this whole entire time, obviously protested his innocence and has consistently tried to get retrials and is, like, always bringing up new shit, like trying to get new evidence, like trying to get new DNA, all this other kind of stuff to get a retrial to see what would happen. So in 2007, they actually agreed and they decided to do some DNA on the dog hairs that had been found on some of the bodies because, like I said, the dog hairs at the time in the 80s had been considered very similar to, Wayne Williams's dog, but they didn't have, like, the technology to, like, make an exacting kind of thing. So he kind of pushed for that. They did that, and they found out that they could only do mitochondrial DNA on the dog, and they found out that even though it wasn't certain that it was the same dog because it wasn't, like, precise enough, they did say that the mitochondrial DNA sequence that they found was only happened in 1 in 100 dogs. So odds are it was probably Wayne Williams's dog. Later on in that year, they also found some human hairs that had been found on some of the victims. Now, these human hairs, it was only 2 of them, so they did DNA on that. The mitochondrial DNA sequence in the hairs would eliminate 99.5% of people whose DNA did not match. Now, the mitochondrial DNA sequence in the hairs would also eliminate 98% of African American persons by not matching their DNA. However, they did match Williams's DNA.
That's
so while
damning.
It wasn't 100%, but it was like...
That's damning.
It's like really, really, really unlikely that it wasn't his hair.
Yeah.
It's possible, but very,
very
unlikely.
Yeah, now that you bring that up, because now I understand the statistics that they're talking about there.
Yeah.
Because Wayne Williams probably could be identified almost as biracial. He was very light-skinned.
He was, yeah.
So that eliminates a lot of people. It was him.
I think it was too.
Yeah.
They are actually, as of March of 2019, they have said that they're going to retest some of the evidence to see if there were any other killers. You know what I mean? Like if there was anything left to be tested to see if there was anything else to do. I haven't heard anything else in that arena. I should say too that one of the guys who was on Wayne Williams's defense team, he later wrote a book about the canonical list that all the victims were put on. And he was pointing out that, a lot of victims that were left off the list probably should have been on there. And some of the ones that were on there shouldn't have been on there. It's like, you know what I mean? He said that the rules for putting them on the list were kind of arbitrary at the time. Now, one thing that I found was kind of interesting, because remember, the case of Angel Lanier, who was 12, and she was found, like, with her hands tied behind her back, like, tied to a tree or whatever. It should be noted that 9 months after that happened, there was another crime almost exactly like that in Atlanta. And the victim's name was Faye Yearby, but she was 22. Now, she was found almost exactly the same way. Hands tied behind her back, like tied to a tree. She'd been sexually assaulted and shit like that. But they didn't put her on the list because they thought at the time, well, she's too old. Because this was before Wayne Williams had started killing the older men. So they were leaving off victims that were of that age group. They only incorporated older victims, like, once that started happening in the series. So since this was before that, they said, oh, well, this girl is too old, so it's obviously not the same killer. But do I think that he killed Faye Yearby? No. I do think that the same person that killed Angel Lanier, who was probably not Wayne Williams, killed Faye Yearby as well. Because that's very, very... that's a very specific signature.
And around the same time.
And I think that was a different dude. Yeah. Because usually, like I said, it's not impossible. I have heard of some serial killers that kill, like, particularly pedophilic ones that will kill both boys and girls. But It's unusual. It's unusual. Usually they'll target one or the other. And I feel like since the vast majority of the victims were boys or young men, the fact that there were a couple female victims in there, that makes me think that that was somebody else.
Yeah, I would think so.
I think that was somebody else.
I agree.
But, you know, I'm not certain, but in my opinion, I think
it's
that was
statistics.
someone else. Yeah.
Statistically, it wouldn't be him.
I think that was another serial killer.
He is killing boys and young men. That's what he does.
Yeah, that seems like his thing.
Right.
And he killed them in a different way, and like he would leave their bodies in different types of areas. I just think it was a different signature. That's all. But yeah, so I think that's probably about it on this case. You seem like you're getting.
Yeah, I'm pretty fucking snockered. I'm holding on, people.
It's not even that late.
No, it's not late, but I
started like.
There was a lot of alcohol that I drank, though.
It was, yeah. I only had one. I didn't even get a refill on it.
I'll get you one.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so seriously, I haven't seen the HBO series, so maybe there's some shit we didn't go into on that. But you know, I did see like all of the other documentaries about like all the older ones, and I watched like the really old one from 1985, which is actually pretty entertaining. It's on YouTube. It's got like a bunch of famous people in it. Like I said, Dad from Hellraiser's in it and everything. He plays like an attorney. Yeah. I was like cracking up, going, "Hey, it's that dude."
No, I'm glad we got to this case because some black dudes that I know, they just don't want to fucking accept that Wayne Williams was the one that did it. But no, that if you understand serial killers, that was him, man. They got him.
Yeah, I think they got the right dude. Like I said, I don't think he did every single one on that list.
No. But the canonical murders, he did that.
I think he did most of them. Yeah. All the ones that were like the same, like strangulation, dumped in the woods, all that kind of stuff. I think those were all him. I don't think they messed up on that at all. But like I said, I do think there's another killer running around that killed some of the other people that they probably still need to catch. So they should probably get on that. But yeah, so I guess we're going to wrap it up because it's getting kind of late. We're getting kind of drunk, kind of tired. It's Friday night we're recording this, so we want to kind of go entertain ourselves in other ways. So I hope you guys have he gave me that look. Go entertain ourselves in other ways. You like that, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm going to grab some titties.
He's playing it ahead. He's playing it ahead.
Go ahead.
He was doing like a Bella Lugosi thing over there. All right, we're wrapping up episode 195 about the depressing topic of the Atlanta child murders, even though we kind of try to have
next
fun
show's got to be fun, though.
It will be. It will. Right, we'll do a fun one next.
Well, these bitches probably think that shit's funny, as sick as they are anyway, but I like a good paranormal case.
Well, the next one we're doing is not necessarily paranormal.
What are we doing next? What's coming up next?
We're probably going to do. Remember, well, you wanted to do that strongman thing.
Strongman, yeah. Okay.
So we'll probably do that next because you keep bugging me about it.
I didn't know you had that on the list already. Okay.
Well, yeah, I stuck it on there because I said, well, I got to put this on here so Tom will stop like complaining about it.
Yeah. Next week we're going to do like the fucking origins of fucking strongmen. We're going to do Eugene Sandow, probably do Pandora. And we're gonna talk about.
See, you're gonna have all kind of fun on that.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about fucking. We're gonna talk about fucking steroids. We'll talk about all that shit.
Yeah, see, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
So it won't be quite as
natties versus fucking.
Quite as depressing. Quite as depressing as this.
Yeah,
show.
Natties versus fucking. Fucking enhanced. We're gonna talk about it in superhuman motherfuckers, and I'm gonna call bullshit on stuff, and we're gonna do all kinds of stuff. Yeah, because I gotta call bullshit on certain things. All these fake natties running around.
Natties like
Natty Light. That's a natural dudes.
I know, but that's that fucking shitty beer also.
Yeah. And people wondering, is that motherfucker natural? Is Tom natural? I'm gonna answer that question next week. Is Tom natural?
Is
Tom fucking natural? We're gonna find out next week. It's a fucking cliffhanger.
All right. So remember, if you like the show, I'm just looking at you through the bottom of your glass. Mm-hmm. If you like the show, like, share, subscribe on all your social media. It really does help us out a lot. If you want to financially support the show, that'd be really awesome. Just like all of our wonderful people did that we shouted out at the beginning of the show. You can do that as well. You can go to our Patreon page, patreon.com/13o'clockpodcast. Or you can go to our blog, 13o'clockpodcast.wordpress.com, and there's a button in the sidebar that goes to a PayPal account that goes right to ours truly. Yeah. I was going to say yours truly, but also you. So, if you want to do that, you can do that as well. And that'll do it for episode 195. We will see you next time. Bye.